Hello dear students. So let us see the solution of this paper. The first question is from the projectile motion, as you can see over here. Here there is a projectile that has been thrown at a speed u at an angle theta from the horizontal, says that at some point of its trajectory the projectile travels perpendicular to its initial velocity of projection. All right, the projectile is to land back at same horizontal level as that of the initial point. To achieve this, u can have any value, but theta more needs to be more than certain value. So basically we have to talk about the conditions so that velocity at some point of the trajectory can become in perpendicular to the initial velocity. All right, now this question you can do by mathematics also, and this question you can say you can do by logic also, visualization. So I'll tell you the visualization method because that is going to be very quick. Okay, let's understand something over here. Okay, look what happens if we throw a projectile. Let us say we throw a projectile at an angle of 30 degree for that matter. Okay, so for example, if you have thrown the projectile at an angle of 30 degree, so that means this was the initial velocity, right? This is the initial velocity. Okay, now at the point of landing, if I talk about, okay, at the point of landing, if you see, so velocity will be like this. Okay, this is the velocity just before the projectile lands, right? Now you might recall that this angle is also 30. Okay, this will be the same angle at which the projectile was launched, right? That means this will also be 30. So if you compare the initial velocity, so it was like this. Okay, this was the initial velocity, okay, making an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. And if you compare the final velocity, so final velocity is how much? So final velocity will be like this, and magnitude wise it will also be magnitude wise it will be same, but here I'm more concerned about the direction. So look, final velocity is making an angle of 30 with the downward horizontal. So if you understand how much velocity has rotated, so velocity has turned through an angle of 60 degrees. So what do you observe? That if I compare the initial and final point, then velocity vector rotates by 2 theta. Yes or no? So if this angle was theta, okay, if this angle was theta, then the rotation that the velocity vector is making is 2 theta. Okay, that is the idea. Okay, now look, if you want velocity to become perpendicular to the initial velocity, that means velocity must rotate at least by an angle of 90. Yes or no? If the initial velocity was like this, then you would want velocity to become like this such that this angle is 90. Okay, that means velocity must rotate at least by an angle of 90. Now let us see. That means 2 theta, 2 theta should be at least 90. Okay, should be at least 90, we can say. That means theta should be at least 45. Theta should be at least 45. Then at the point of landing, just at the point of landing, what will happen? Velocity would have turned through an angle of 90. Let me show you the situation. Basically, if you let us say throw the projectile like this. Okay, throw the projectile like this. Let us say this angle was 45 degree. So what happens? Basically initial velocity will be like this, and final velocity, as you can see, will be like this, and this angle will be 45 degree, right? Because this will also be 45. So you can see that here what happens at the point of landing, the velocity becomes perpendicular to the initial. Okay, but what happens if you throw at an angle more than 45? So let's imagine that you have thrown at an angle 60 degree. Okay, let's say we have thrown at an angle of 60 degree. That means here the initial velocity is like this. So final velocity, if you see, final velocity will also be like this. This angle will be 60 degree. So we can say that velocity has turned through an angle of 120. Okay, basically if you look at the rotation of vector, so it has turned through 120 degree. So at some point over here, so like somewhere over here, okay, somewhere over here, the velocity must have been like this, and this angle must have been 30. Okay, somewhere on this point, because velocity, if you look, velocity here is making an angle of 60. Here the velocity will make an angle of 30. Here the velocity makes an angle of 0. Here it is making an angle with the downward, in the downward direction. So somewhere here the angle will be 30. Okay, so look, if you compare the initial velocity and this velocity, okay, at some point here, so at the point P, let us say, so basically initial velocity is 60 degree. Initial velocity is like this, right? And the velocity at the point P, we can say, is 30 degree below the horizontal. Okay, this is the velocity at the point P. So you can see that velocity has become perpendicular to the initial velocity. So idea which I am trying to tell you here is that if you throw at an angle more than 45 degrees, so what will happen? Velocity will definitely be able to rotate by an angle of 90, which means that it will be able to be perpendicular to the initial velocity. U does not have any particular value. You can choose any value of u. Okay, so that means option A is the correct answer. This question we can do by mathematics also, but I hope you would have understood this by the logic. All right, let us see the next question. So in this question, basically there's a string which is clamped. That means it is fixed at both the ends, and it is oscillating in nth harmonic. Okay, so we have to choose the correct amplitude. Now see, the idea here is that basically if a string is oscillating in the nth harmonic, which is fixed at both the ends. Okay, so suppose, wait, let me show you this kind of a string. So let's say this is the string. This is the string which is fixed at both the ends. Okay, this is the x equals to 0 end, and this is x equals to L end. Okay, so that means the end of the length of the string is L. Okay, length of the string is L. Now, if it is oscillating in nth harmonic, so you might recall that number of loops formed is n in this situation. In nth harmonic means n number of loops in this particular situation. All right. So energy of a string which basically has a length L is given by mu into a square omega square L. Okay, this is a standard expression. This is the total energy of the string, mu a square omega square L. Okay, where here mu is the linear mass density and a is the amplitude. That means this value. This is the value of a. I mean to say this is 2a actually. I'm so sorry. This is 2a. A is the amplitude of the wave which has created this standing wave basically. Okay, so a is the amplitude of this traveling wave which has created this standing wave. So this actually value is 2a. Okay, this is the 2a, right? Omega is the angular frequency. Now we have to talk about the proportionality between energy and n. Now remember what is n. N is the harmonic. Basically, n is the harmonic number. Okay. Now look, omega is what? Omega, you know, is frequency. Okay, I mean omega is 2 pi into frequency. Okay, omega is 2 pi into frequency. Omega is the angular frequency, which means it will be 2 pi into frequency. And if you recall, frequency in the nth harmonic is given by n by 12 into root of t by mu. Okay, n by 12 into root of t by mu. So if you see, if I put the value of omega, like if I put the value of frequency here, so omega value becomes 2 pi into n by 12 into root of t by mu. Okay, and 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So you can see that omega becomes pi into n upon L into root of t by mu, which means omega square, as you can see, is proportional to n square. Okay, omega square will be proportional to n square, which means that energy will be proportional to n square, because energy is proportional to omega square and omega square is proportional to n square. That means energy will be proportional to n square. Okay, so basically the idea here is that for a fundamental mode, for a fundamental frequency, n will be 1. Okay, n will be 1, and for a general, I mean nth harmonic, energy will be proportional to n square. That means energy of oscillation will be n square times to that of fundamental frequency. I hope you have understood this. In the fundamental mode, n will be 1, and in the nth harmonic, it will be n square times. All right. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. Okay. Then let us see this question here. This is a system which is shown below. The time period of oscillations of two block system. Now you might recall a standard result that suppose this is a block M1 and suppose this is a block M2. Okay, and it has been connected. They have been connected by a spring constant K. So basically here the oscillations happen in the center of mass frame. Okay, somewhere over here the center of mass will be there, and in the frame of center of mass both the blocks oscillate like this, left right. SHM will happen, and the time period of oscillations is given by 2 pi root of mu by K. Okay, what is mu? Mu is not the coefficient of friction. Mu is the reduced mass. Okay, so basically the value of mu is m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2, reduced mass of the system. Okay, now look here, the idea is that this two springs are in series. So if you want to find the K equivalent here, so basically if I want to find the K equivalent here, so the value of K equivalent can be written as 4K into 2K divided by 4K plus 2K. That means that will become 6K. So if you see, this becomes 4K by 3. This is the value of the K equivalent, and time period we can write as 2 pi root of, what will be value of mu by the way? So value of mu in this particular question will be m into m, because both m1 and m2 are equal, divided by m1 plus m2. Okay, that means this becomes m by 2. So that means time period of oscillations for this particular scenario you can write as t 2 pi is into under root of mu by K. Mu is m by 2. Okay, and K basically will become K equivalent, which is nothing but 4K by 3. Okay, so what is the answer? 2 pi into under root of 3m by 8K. Okay, and basically option D is matching. Yes, so I hope you have understood. Moving on. So in this question, basically there's a load of 31.4 kg, which is suspended from a wire of radius 10 to the power minus 3 meter and density this. Okay, calculate the change in the temperature of the wire if the 50% of the work done by gravity is converted into heat. Okay, now basically this question is a combination of Young's modulus and the calorimetry basically. So if you understand here what is happening, there's a wire. Okay, there's this wire is length they have not given, I guess. So let's imagine that the length was L. All right, and let's say this is a block. Now this block is of mass 31.4 here. Okay, now the moment you hang this block, what will happen? The wire will get elongated because of the stress getting generated here, and which is why you can say that the potential energy of the block will decrease, because this block will go by the amount of elongation, right? So if the wire elongates by delta L, so we can say that the block will fall by delta L. Okay, so in that situation, what you can say, the question is saying that gravity will do how much work? Gravity will do work of mg into delta L, right? Mg into delta L, that much work will be done by the gravity, right? Now question is saying that 50% of this, okay, 50% of this work converts to heat, which is absorbed by the basically the block, okay, which is absorbed by the block. So no, sorry, which is absorbed by the wire, not block. So 50% of the heat is absorbed by the wire, and you have to find the change in the temperature of the wire. Okay, that means if I ask you how much heat has been generated, so that is 50% of this. That means mg into delta L upon 2. Okay, mg into delta L upon 2. This is the value of the we can say the work done by the, this is the value, this is the amount of heat that will be generated. Okay, now how much temperature will rise, that is what we have to calculate. How much temperature will rise, that is what we have to calculate. So what will you do? This heat you can write equals to mass of the wire into specific heat of the wire into delta T. Okay, Q is equals to ms delta T. Now look, capital M is given to us, gravity is given to us, mass of the wire we will be able to write, specific heat of the material of the wire is also given to us. We will be able to find the value of delta T using this. Only thing that we need is to find delta L. Okay, how will we find delta L? That we can find using Young's modulus formula. So look, what is the stress generated in the wire? So that will be mg upon cross sectional area. Okay, mg upon cross sectional area, which is, let us say, A. Okay, so mg upon cross sectional area, which is the stress, that will be equals to Young's modulus into delta L by L. Okay, so that means what is the value of delta L? That is mgl upon ay. Okay, that is the value of delta L. This value of delta L you can put here. This value of delta L you can put here. So that means Q will become how much? Q will become m into g into, again delta L is how much? mg into L upon cross sectional area of the wire into Young's modulus upon 2. This is the value of delta L. So delta L is this, and mg is this, and 2 is this. Okay, this will be equals to mass of the wire. Now what is the value of mass of the wire? So look, mass of the wire can be written as cross sectional area into the length, yes or no? Cross sectional area into the length into density. Okay, into density. So because mass is volume into density, so volume will be cross sectional area into the length. Okay, that multiplied by specific heat into delta T. So look, we are ready with the expression. Okay, length will cancel out, which is why they had not given the value of the length. So we are ready with the expression. Look, now just we have to put the values. Delta T is what? M square g square upon A will come here. So 2, this A will come here. This will become A square into Young's modulus into density into specific heat. So we are ready with the expression. Now all is left is just putting the values and doing the boring calculations. Okay, so M is how much? 31.4. 31.4 into 31.4. Okay, gravity they have given 9.8 into 9.8. Okay, divided by twice area. Now for how you write the area? So look, area is pi r square, and they have given you the radius. So a square will become pi square into r to the power 4. So when you make this power 4, it will become 10 to the power minus 12. All right, into Young's modulus, which is how much? This 9.8 into 10 to the power 10. This is the Young's modulus. Then density is of the wire is 9 into 1000. Okay, and specific heat is 490 joules per kg Kelvin. So that is 490. Okay, now this basically you can calculate. Okay, so you can do the calculation. Actually it's not a very difficult calculation, because you can see pi is 3.14, so pi will make it 10, and this pi will make it also 10. Okay, 9.8 will cancel out. Okay, so, and this, look, 49 will make it 10, and 49 will make it 0.2. Okay, so in the numerator, if you see what we are getting, it is going to become 0.2 into 10, that means 2, and into 10 will be 20. Okay, and upon 2 into, look, this minus 12 and this minus 10 will completely cancel, minus 2 will remain, so that you can again cancel like this. So here what remains is 90. Okay, here what remains is 90. So look, 0 0 gone, 0 0 gone, and 2 also gets cancelled. I think I might have left out 110 here. Basically, if you see here, yeah, this 10 is left. Look, this 10 is left. So that means this becomes 1 by 90, which is the answer of this question. Okay, option C. That is the idea. All right. Let us have a look at the next question. Typical salt particle of radius 10 micrometer is on top of deep water lake, deep lake water, its density is 2000 kg per meter cube and the viscosity of lake water is 1 millipascal second. Density is 1000 kg per meter cube. If the lake is still, then we have to find the terminal velocity that with which the particle will hit the bottom. So it's a classic question of terminal velocity, if you remember. So if you remove a spherical object inside any fluid, then we know that it attains a terminal velocity, right? And what is the expression for terminal velocity? So it's a standard expression, 2 into radius square into density of the particle or the medium, or sorry, density of the ball basically. So let me write this as b. Rho b means density of this ball minus density of the medium, okay, into gravity upon 9 eta. Okay, so this is the expression to find the terminal velocity. So what is the r? R is here radius of this ball, which is 10 micrometer. So 10 micrometer effectively means how much? It means 10 to the power minus 5 meter. So if you square the radius, it will become 10 to the power minus 10. Okay. Density of the ball you can see is 2000 basically. Okay, which basically is the particle here, not the ball actually. So 2000 kg per meter cube. So that will be 2000. Density of the medium. So medium here is water. So we know that water has a density of 1000 itself. So that you can put directly here. Gravity we can take 10 divided by 9 into eta. Eta is the coefficient of viscosity, which here is 1 millipascal second. That means you will like in the standard unit it will become 10 to the power minus 3 because of this millipascal. That will become like this. So now we can calculate this. You can see this will become 1000. Okay, 2 into 10 to the power minus 10, and 1000 into 10 will become 10 to the power 4. This you can take in the numerator, so this will become 10 to the power 3 in the numerator divided by 9. Okay, so effectively you can see this becomes 2 by 9 into 10 to the power minus 3 meter per second. Okay, but if you have to find the answer in the millimeter per second, then you need to further multiply this by the 1000. So if you do that, so this will be cancelled, and this will become millimeter per second. All right, so 2 by 9 is 0.22. Option D will be the correct. All right, let's move to the next one. Here what is happening, if you see, there's a thermodynamic process of 1 mole ideal diatomic gas. The efficiency of this cyclic process we have to find out. Okay, now look, efficiency you can find out by two ways. One is magnitude of work done in the cycle divided by total heat input. Okay, that means how much heat is going within the cycle. That is one way. Okay, and also you can do 1 minus mod of Q out. That means magnitude of heat leaving the cycle divided by magnitude of heat going in the cycle. So either of the formula you can use. Okay, now look, what is the idea here? So here they have given you VP graph. Now most of you might not be comfortable with the VP graph because you are accustomed to using P on the y-axis and volume on the x-axis. So very easily what I'll do, I'll just do that. So basically what I'll do, I'll choose the pressure on the, like I'll invert the graph. I'll make pressure on the y-axis and volume on the x-axis. Although we can do like this also, but since many of you are accustomed to using this kind of convention, so which is why I'm changing this. Okay, so look, at the point A, the pressure was P0, volume was V0. So let's choose point A over here. Here the volume will become V0. Okay, and here the pressure will become P0, right? So this is your point A. Okay, now we are going from A to B. So pressure has become 2P0 and volume remains V0. That means it is like this. Look, pressure has become 2P0. Okay, and volume remains V0. So this is the point B. From B, we go to C. So C is volume to V0, pressure remains 2P0. That means like this. So this is the point C. Here the volume becomes 2V0. Look. Okay, volume becomes 2V0 and pressure remains 2P0, right? And from C to A we come back. Okay, so this is how the cycle is. Okay, now the idea here is that basically, look, let us say for the time being here the temperature is T0. That means at the point A temperature is T0. Okay, moles they have given 1. Okay, so if I apply PV is equals to nRT at the point A, so it will become P0 V0 is equals to 1 into R into T0. That means P0 V0 is RT0. Okay, now look, you know that for a cyclic process, work done simply becomes the area of the triangle. Okay, so I mean area of this cycle. Okay, so work done, how I can find? Simply the area of this triangle, which is half into this is the, you can say, base, which is V0 into the altitude will be P0. So this will be simply the work done. Okay, now let's talk about Q in. So I am using this formula. Let's talk about Q in. How will I find Q in? Look, from A to B, if you see, so this here volume is constant. Okay, which means it's an isochoric process, and for an isochoric process, Q can be written as, basically I'm talking about QAB. Okay, first I'm talking about QAB. Okay, so QAB becomes NCV delta T. Look, NCV delta T. Now N was 1. CV, say they have not given us, but CV will be definitely positive. We know that. Okay, so CV ko you can write what like Okay, I think they have not given you the value of diatomic gas. Yes, they have given. Sorry, I did not see. So diatomic they have given. That means Cv will be 5 R by 2. Okay, Cv will be 5 R by 2. Okay, so for a diatomic gas, Cv is 5 R by 2. Delta T is what? Temperature at B minus temperature at A. So what will be temperature at B? Okay, now look, temperature at B can be written as 2 T naught. Why? Look, from A to B, volume stays constant, right? Volume stays constant, but pressure has doubled. Pressure has doubled. Now remember that for a constant volume, pressure is proportional to temperature, right? For a constant volume, pressure is proportional to temperature, which means we can say that if pressure doubles, so will temperature. Hence, here the temperature will be 2 T naught. Okay, and going by the same logic, from B to C, if you talk about, here volume has doubled. Look, from B to C, volume has doubled, and pressure stays constant. Okay, pressure stays constant. So again, for a constant pressure, volume will be proportional to temperature. So that means if here the temperature was 2 T naught, here it should become 4 T naught. Why? Because if volume has doubled, so temperature should also double. Okay, so I was talking about QAB. So QAB will become NCV delta T. CV is 5 R by 2. Delta T is 2 T naught minus T naught. That means it will become T naught. Okay. Now for QBC, if I talk about QBC, so what is the value of QBC? Look, this is an isobaric process. It's an isobaric process. So it will be written as NCP delta T. Okay, NCP delta T, and delta T is clearly 4 T naught minus 2 T naught. Okay, so CP will be 7 R by 2 for an diatomic gas, and delta T will be 4 T naught minus 2 T naught. That means 2 T naught. Okay, for Ca, actually what happens is that the Q will be negative. Okay, for Ca the Q will be negative because temperature is decreasing and molar specific heat capacity is positive. So the temperature is decreasing from C to A with positive value of molar heat capacity, which means that you can say ki bhai here the heat will be out. So if I'm using this formula, then I don't need to calculate Q out. Basically, Q in will be simply QAB plus QBC. Okay, so that means Q in will become what? Summation of these two values, 5 RT by 2 T naught, 5 RT by 5 RT naught by 2 plus 7 RT naught. That means this becomes how much? 9.5 RT naught. Okay, 9.5 RT naught. This is the value of the Q in we are getting. And efficiency, now we can find work done upon this. So this P naught V naught you can write RT naught. So this will become RT naught upon 2. So now this will become work done upon Q in. So that means RT naught upon 2. This is the work done, and Q in was 9.5 RT naught. Okay, RT naught will get cancelled. This is 1 upon 19. For the percentage, if you want to find, so you have to multiply by 100 so that it becomes percentage, which is clearly 5.3 basically. Okay, so I hope you would have understood. All right. In this question, basically, there's a gas mixture consisting of 2 moles of oxygen and 4 moles of argon at temperature T. We have to ignore the vibrational modes and we have to find the equivalent degrees of freedom. Very easy question. F equivalent is basically standard formula N1 F1 plus N2 F2 divided by N1 plus N2. All right. So basically, for the first gas, if you see, we have got 2 moles of oxygen. So N1 will become 2. F1 is the degree of freedom of first gas. So for oxygen, it's a diatomic gas, which means F1 will be 5. Okay. N2 is the number of moles of the second gas, which is 4. F2 is the degree of freedom of argon. Argon, it's a monatomic gas. So degree of freedom will be 3. Divide by N1 plus N2. Okay. So this becomes 10 plus 4 is 12 upon 6. That means 22 by 6, which means 11 by 3. So option B will be the correct answer for this question. All right. Let us see the next question. Here we have to find the total time elapsed for a hollow sphere of inner radius 3 and outer radius 6. The density is 9 into 10 to the power 3. Specific heat is this. Emissivity is 0.4 to cool from 727 to 227 in a surrounding surface of 0 Kelvin. Okay, inner surface is equals to 1. Stephen's constant is also given. So basically, what is the situation here? Look, this is the sphere. Okay, basically it's a thick spherical shell. Okay, thick spherical shell. Now look, for the time being, call this value as R. Okay, that means R is 3 centimeter. Remember, I'm writing here R will be 0.03 meter. Okay, so that means this will become 2R. So what happens is that inner surface is of radius R and outer surface is of radius 2R, and material is present only between this. Okay, now they have said that inner surface has emissivity 1. This essentially means that this inner surface will also have absorptivity 1. That means because if you remember E is equals to A, that means any heat that will be emitted by the inner surface will be absorbed by the inner surface itself. That means the idea here is that if heat is emitting from here, so it will be absorbed by the inner surface itself. Okay, because absorptivity is 1. So effectively the question wants to tell you कि if any heat is escaping this sphere due to radiation, so it can happen only because of the outer surface. So because of the outer surface the heat will escape to the surrounding. Now remember, surrounding is at zero temperature. Okay, here you can see that surrounding is at zero temperature. So what happens here is that कि भाई, the body is losing heat because of the radiation. Okay, now if I ask you what is the rate at which the heat is being lost, okay, so which you can call power of radiation or power due to power lost due to radiation, will be E into A into sigma into temperature to the power 4. Now look here, T will be the instantaneous temperature of the body. Why? Because body's temperature will continuously decrease. Okay, starting value is 727 degrees Celsius, which is nothing but 1000 Kelvin. Okay, and 227 degrees Celsius means 500 Kelvin. That means body's temperature will continuously decrease from 1000 Kelvin to 500 Kelvin. So that means the power radiated will also change continuously. Okay, so you can say that dq by dt means the rate at which heat is being lost is equals to emissivity of the outer surface, which is 0.4, into the area of the outer surface, which is 4 pi into 2r square, which becomes 4r square into sigma into temperature to the power 4. This is the rate at which heat is being lost. Okay, and this will be is equals to minus ms dt by dt. Okay, so using the calorimetry, if you remember, dq is equals to ms dt. Basically, let me show you. So using calorimetry, let us say if dq amount of heat is lost, so dq can be written as ms dt. Remember, dt is the change in the temperature. Okay, why we are putting a minus? So basically, let me say if I write dt here, so you can write dt here also. So dq by dt will become minus ms dt by dt. And why we are putting a minus sign? We are putting a minus sign because here temperature will be a decreasing function of time. Okay, so dt by dt is itself a negative value. So basically LHS is positive, this is a positive value, but dt by dt is a negative value. So to make LHS RHS both positive, we have put a minus sign. I hope you have understood. Okay, that is the idea. Now after that it is just integration, just basically calculation. That's it. Physics part is over, logic part is over. Okay, so look, dq by dt is this also, and dq by dt is this also. What is the value of the mass? So basically, what is the value of mass? So look, mass can be written as the volume of the sphere into the density of the sphere. What is the volume of the sphere? Volume is 4 by 3 into pi into 2r cube. Okay, this is the volume of the bigger sphere if the sphere was complete. Okay, minus this much portion which is empty, that means r cube. All right, so this is the mass into the specific heat into dt by dt. Okay, so now look, what is the expression we are getting? So look, dt upon t to the power 4. Okay, dt upon t to the power 4. This question you have to be careful with the calculation. Is equals to, now, zero point 0.4, okay, into 4 pi. In fact, you can cancel this 4 pi. Okay, so this 4 pi we are cancelling. So again, let me write this minus also, I can take it on the LHS. So 0.4 into 4r square. Okay, 4r square into sigma. Okay, t to the power 4 I have already written. Divide by, okay, divide by this thing. So this 3 will go in the numerator. Okay, and 8r cube minus r cube. So this will become 7r cube. Okay, into specific heat. Okay, into specific heat. All right, and dt. Right. So this is what we will get. All right. Now you can see that this r square and r cube will also get cancelled. So this will become minus of 0.4 into 4 into sigma. What is sigma? Sigma is 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 into 3 upon 7 into r. Now r you know is 0.03. So 0.03 you can write. Into specific heat is how much? Specific heat is 3000. 3000 joules per kg Kelvin. So this is 3000. Okay, dt. So this is the final expression which we have to integrate. Okay, and one more thing, if you see this 3 ko you can make it 0.01. Okay, and 0.01 ko you can further cancel by writing it 2 zeros. So effectively we can say that this becomes how much? 0.4 into 4, that means 4 4 is 16. So this will become 1.6 into 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by how much? 7 into 30, that means 210 into dt. Okay, now we can integrate. So dt upon t to the power 4. So this temperature will go from 1000 Kelvin initial value to the 500 Kelvin final value. Okay, so what is the integral that you are going to get? So the integral of dt by t to the power 4 is t to the power minus 3 upon minus 3. Okay, this is the value. Value will be 1000 to 500. Okay, so what does this value become? this value becomes is equals to minus 1.6 into 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 divided by 210 and times 0 say t. Okay, so this will become t. All right, now it is just the question of putting the values. So this minus and minus will get cancelled. Okay, and 1 by 3 is left on the LHS. This will be 1 upon 500 to the cube. Okay, minus 1 upon 1000 cube. Okay, 1000 cube, and this will be is equals to 1.6 into 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 8 upon 210 into time. All right, now what you can do, you can send 100 cube from this side, so 100 cube will become 10 to the power 6. So look, if you send 100 cube from this side, so here only 5 cube will be left. Okay, so that will become 125, and here 10 cube will be left, so that will become 1000. Okay, and 100 cube will make it 10 to the power minus 2. This is 1.6 into 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 2 upon 210 into time. Okay, so this becomes how much? 1 by 125 you can take common, so this will be 1 minus 1 by 8, which is nothing but 7 by 8. So I can write directly this as 7 by 8. Okay, this will be 1.6 into 5.6 into 10 to the power minus 2 divided by 210 into t. All right, now look, 7 will cancel it, 7 into 1, 7 into 0.8. Okay, and now you can further do the calculation. Only t you have to find. So if you do the calculation, you will get option D. Okay, you can do the calculation. I think calculation anybody can do, not a very difficult calculation also. So I hope you were able to understand the idea of this question, the physics of this question you were able to understand. All right, let's move to the next one. Here what happens, wait, there's a cavity of radius r by 2 is made inside a solid sphere of radius r. The center of the cavity is located at a distance of r by 3 from the center of the sphere. The gravitational force on the particle of mass m at a distance of r by 2 from the center of the sphere on the line joining both the center of the sphere and the cavity is opposite. So basically what is happening, let me tell you. Look, there's a solid sphere of radius r. Okay, so let's make a solid sphere of radius r first. Okay, this is a solid sphere of radius r. Okay, now there's a cavity which is of radius r by 2 which has been made. The center of the cavity is located at a distance of r by 3 from the center of the sphere. So basically if you call this as the center of the sphere, so cavity will be somewhat like this. Okay, somewhat the cavity, wait, cavity will be somewhat like this, and here will be the center of the cavity, and this distance is given as r by 3. Look, this distance is r by 3 and the radius of the cavity is r by 2. That means this is r by 2. Okay, this is the r by 2. Now what we do, we remember C is the center of the sphere and C1 is the center of the cavity. Now what we do, so we have kept a particle of mass m at a distance of r by 2 from the center of the sphere, that means C, on the line joining both centers of sphere and cavity opposite to the center of gravity. What does this mean? See, look, if you join the line of C and C1, so let's say this is that line. Okay, on this line you have kept a particle of mass m at a distance r by 2 from the center of the sphere. So that means you can keep a particle m at a distance of r by 2 from C. That you can do on the right side also, but left side also. Question is saying that you have to keep the particle opposite to the center of gravity. That means C1 is on the right side of C, which means particle was kept somewhere over here at the point P, and this distance was r by 2 as per the question. Here a particle of mass m is kept. Okay, so we have to find the force on this basically particle. Okay, the gravitational force. Yes, we have to find the force on this particle. Look, so what I will do, I will write the gravitational field at the point P. Okay, gravitational field at the point P, net gravitational field. That means the field due to the entire sphere minus the field due to the cavity, and then we will multiply the field due to the then we'll multiply the field with the mass of the particle to get the force. Okay, now look, they have also said that m is the mass of the complete sphere. Okay, that means m, so if you say the volume mass density is rho, so m could have been written as rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Okay, this is the mass of the complete sphere. Okay, m is rho into 4 by 3 pi r cube, right? Now look, that means what is the mass of the cavity? Mass of the cavity will be rho into 4 by 3 pi r by 2 cube, because cavity has a radius of r by 2. Okay, that means if you see, this becomes 1 by 8 times, because 2 cube will be 8 into remaining thing will become mass of the sphere. So basically mass of the cavity is 1 by 8 times the mass of the sphere. Okay, now how do we write the electric field at, sorry, gravitational field at the point P? So let us say gravitational field is Eg. Eg means field due to gravitation. Okay, Eg means gravitational field at the point P. So that will be the field due to the entire solid sphere minus field due to the cavity, right? Field due to the cavity, right? Now what is the field due to the entire sphere? So for a solid sphere, this point is at inside point. So formula will be gmx by r cube. G into m into x means this distance, which is r by 2, gmx by radius cube. This is the field due to the entire sphere minus field due to cavity. For the cavity region, if you see this point, this was an outside point. So you will use the formula gm by x square. So g into mass of cavity by x means a distance between the center of the cavity and the particle. So that means r by 3 plus r by 2. Okay, r by 3 plus r by 2, which means how much? 5r by 6. Okay, so that means 5r by 6 whole square. Okay, so what is this value becoming? Oh, so sorry, my bad, guys. What is this value becoming? So this value becomes g into m by 2r square minus, now look, g into mass of cavity is how much? M by 8. Okay, m by 8 into how much? 5r square, that means 25r square into 36. All right, so look, we can take gm by 2r square common. We can take gm by 2r square common. Here 1 will be left, and if you make it 2 into 4 into 2, 4 into 9, so 9, so gm by 2r square is gone, 9 by 25 is left, which means 16 by 25, so 16 gm by 25 into 2r square, that means 8 gm by 8 gm by 25 r square, and gm by r square ko they are calling small g, that means this becomes 8 g by 25. Okay, so this is the net field, guys. That means the force will be, force on the particle will be gravity, which is 8 g by 25 into the mass, so 8 mg by 25. Option C will be the correct one. I hope you have understood. All right, here what happens, a uniform thin disk of mass m and radius r is rotating about its axis, which is fixed and vertical with constant angular velocity omega. Four objects of mass m are kept gently to the opposite ends of the two perpendicular diameters. The new angular velocity. Very like procedural question. I think all of you would have done this. It's a disk here. Okay, it's a disk here. Basically, this disk was having the mass m and radius r. It was rotating with the angular velocity omega. Okay, now you keep four particles each of mass m on the perpendicular diameters. So look, this is the one diameter, and you can say this is the other diameter. So one particle was kept here, other particle was kept here, other particle was kept here, and the last particle was kept here. So we can conserve the angular momentum because as a system the net external torque is zero. That means you can say that initial angular momentum was moment of inertia of the disk about the axis half mr square into the omega. So this is the initial angular momentum I omega. That will be equals to final angular momentum. So final angular momentum will be I final into omega final. Okay. Now what is I final? So I final will be moment of inertia of a disk, which is half mr square, plus the moment of inertia of all four particles, which will be mr square plus mr square plus mr square plus mr square. That means 4 small m r square, 4 small m r square into the angular velocity final. So very easy question. You can see that this becomes what? R square, R square, R square gets cancelled. If I multiply this by 2, so this becomes m omega. Okay, this will become m, this will become 8m into omega final. So answer will be what? Omega final will be capital M into omega upon capital M plus 8m. Okay, so capital M into omega upon capital M plus 8m will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right, now here what happens, there's a three concentric metallic shells of radii r, 2r and 3r are given charges q each, then the ratio of surface charge density on the outer surface of each shell. Basically this question is about induction. So look, let's say there's a shell of radius r, then there's a shell of radius 2r, okay, and then there's a shell of radius 3r. Okay, I have done a good job in drawing the circle. So let's say this is of radius r, okay, this is of radius 2r, and this is of radius 3r. Okay, now each shell was given charge q. That means suppose I give charge q2 here, okay, q2 this as well, q2 this as well. Now remember, the facing surfaces should get equal and opposite charges in accordance with Gauss law. That means if you have given the charge q to this, inner surface will not get any zero charge because here no charge is placed at the center. Okay, so all the charge on the shell 1 will be on the outer surface, and that means the inner surface of the second shell will get minus q charge because these two should be exactly opposite of each other. Okay, now total charge that you had given to the shell 2 was q. Okay, and that should remain conserved. That means minus q will come on the inner surface. That means 2q should come here. Why? Because the total of this should be the charge given to this surface, which was q. All right, now if again here you have got 2q, so here should be minus 2q. Again same thing, Gauss's law. Basically if this is 2q, so this should be minus 2q. Facing surfaces should have equal and opposite charges. Again The total charge given to the third shell was q. That means this will be 3q. Why? Because the total charge on the third shell should be which you had given, which is q. All right. So look, now if we are ready to write the charge density for the first shell, we have to talk about the outer surface only. That means this surface. So that means sigma 1 of the outer surface is charge upon 4 pi r square. Okay, 4 pi r square. If I talk about sigma 2, that means this surface. So here the charge is 2q, you can see that, and the area is 4 pi into 2r square, which becomes 4r square. Okay, and for the third surface, this surface, the charge is 3q, and the area is how much? 4 pi into 3r square, that means 9r square. Okay, 9r square. Now we have to find the ratio of sigma 1 is to sigma 2 is to sigma 3, sigma 1 is to sigma 2 is to sigma 3. So look, q by 4 pi r square is common in each. Okay, so since we have to take the ratio, so you can ignore this factor. Q 4 pi r square, q 4 pi r square. Here 1 is left, here 2 by 4, that means half is left, and here 3 by 9, that means 1 by 3 is left. So answer is 1 is to half is to 1 by 3. They have put that in the proper number, so you can multiply this whole thing by 6. So 1 will become 6, half will become 3, and 1 by 3 will become 2. So 6 is to 3 is to 2 will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you would have understood. Let us see the next question. A current I flows through a uniform wire of diameter d. When the mean drift velocity is v, the same current will flow through a diameter of d by 3 made of same metal if the mean drift velocity is. Very easy question. Suppose this is a wire. Okay. Now we know that if the current I is flowing through this wire, okay, current I is flowing through this wire. So the formula of current is I is equals to n into drift speed into magnitude of the charge q, which is generally electron, into cross sectional area. Okay. Now in the first situation, the diameter is d. Okay, so this diameter is d. That means we can say that the cross sectional area will be how much? Pi d square by 4. Okay, so in the first situation, the current value is I. Number of n is the number of free charge carriers per unit volume. Okay, so it's a property of material. So n will be so that let's say the n value is n itself. Drift speed is v. Okay, q is the charge on the electron magnitude wise, and a will be pi d square by 4. All right. In the second situation, we are saying that the current is again the same current here. Okay, n will be same because it's a property of material, so material is same. Drift speed, let's say, becomes v dash, which is what we have to calculate. Charge on the electron will remain the same. The diameter has become d by 3, so area will become pi into d by 3 square, so it will become d square by d by so area is pi into half of diameter square. So if diameter is d by 3, so radius will be d by 6, so you'll have to square d by 6, so it will become 36, right? D by 6 square is d square by 36. Okay, so now we can equate the currents. So you can see that both these values should be equal, so n and n will get cancelled, q and q will get cancelled, pi d square gets cancelled, so v by 4 will be equals to v dash by 36. That means v dash is how much? 9v. Option C is the correct answer. All right. Here what happens, the parallel plate capacitor has square plates of side A and separation between the plate is D. Okay, it has a capacitance C without dielectrics. It is filled by dielectric slab as shown the new capacitance. So basically, see what happens is that here we have put three types of dielectrics. Okay, now what we can do here is that we can treat this as a one block of dielectric. Okay, which is K2 is equals to 4. Okay, then we can treat this as another block of dielectric, which is also K2 is equals to 4. Okay, now this will become one block and this will become another block. Okay, so look, this I'm calling as C2, that means this will also be C2, and this I'm calling as C1, that means this will be C3. Now see, what is C2 if you look? So C2 has a, so if you try to visualize in 3 dimensions, so this top plate, how will it look like? This top plate of the capacitor I'm talking about, so it's a square plate, right? So basically this, okay, this is the situation, this is the square plates. Okay, so they are saying that C is the capacitance without dielectric. That means what was the value of C? So C will be epsilon naught A by D. And what is the value of A? A will be this area, A, small into small a, because they have got square plates. So epsilon naught into A square upon D. This is the value of C. Okay. Now, if you imagine this situation, so look, till here, basically this. So till here is the what? C2. Okay. Look. And again, this is C2. Right? Then this is C1. Look, this is C1. Okay, and the last one is C3. Okay, this is C3. Okay, this you can ignore. This is the situation. Okay, so what is the value of C1? Let us say first of all. So C1 will be K into K means K1 into epsilon naught into area. Now look, area will be basically half of the area of the capacitor plate, right? If the plate has an area A, so this will be A by 2. So A by 2 upon distance is also D by 2, because this you can see here D by 2. So this is the value of C1. Okay, so this becomes K1 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, now what is the value of C2? So again C2 will also become similarly, if you write area is A by 2, distance is D by 2, this thickness is D by 2, so it will become K2 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, then what is the value of C3? So C3 is this. So C3 will also become same logic, K3 epsilon naught A by D. Alright. Now if you see, C1 and C2 are in series, and C3 and C2 are also in series, and then this combination of C1 and C2 and C3 and C2, they are in parallel. Okay, they are in potential difference, they are in like is same, so they are in parallel. So what's the combination of C1 and C2? So we can say that C1 C2 will become, like if I combine them in series, so it will become, wait, let me write here. So C equivalent will be, so combination of this will be C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Okay, and similarly the combination of C2 and C3 will become C2 C3 divided by C2 plus C3. Okay, and overall combination is in parallel. This is what we are going to get. Okay, now what is the value of C1? So that is K1. K1 is how much? 2. So 2 epsilon naught A by D. All right, into C2. C2 is 4 basically, so 4 epsilon naught A by D. Divide by, when you add this, so 4 plus 2 will become 6 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, so epsilon naught A by D will get cancelled. Okay, we will be left with 4 to the 8 upon 6. So 4 by 3. This term will become 4 by 3 epsilon naught A by D. Alright, plus this term C2 C3. So look, C2 is K2, that means 4 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, into C3 is 6, so this will become 6 epsilon naught A by D upon 6 plus 4, 10 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, now if you see, so epsilon naught A by D will get cancelled. 6 fours are how much? 6 fours are 24 by 10, so 2.4. Okay, 2.4 epsilon naught A by D. Okay, so 4 by 3 is 1.3 nearly, and 1.3 plus 2.4, that means 3.7, near about 3.7 epsilon naught A by D will be the answer. So option C. Okay, epsilon naught A by D was C, so 3.7 will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right, let us look at this question. This is a positive charge particle of charge Q and mass m, which is released at origin. There is a uniform magnetic field and electric field in this space, and the electric field is along the j cap, magnetic field is along the k cap. We have to find the y coordinate as a function of time. Now see, as far as solving this question is concerned, you can solve this by options. But if you if you want to solve it properly, so then also then I'll show you how you can solve this question properly. Then it will be a very good question. You can say advanced level question or beyond advanced also sometimes. But the idea here is that if you want to solve this very quickly in the mains exam, so what you can do, look, you first understand something which I'm telling you. So let's say this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, all right, and this is the z-axis, all right. So if you see the direction of electric field, so electric field is along the j cap direction, so this is the direction of electric field. Okay, and direction of magnetic field is coming towards us. So let's analyze a bit. You are releasing the particle at the origin. Okay, so when you release the particle, its velocity would have been 0. But electric field, what it will do, it will start applying the force in the upward direction. Okay, that means the particle will slightly deflect up. The moment particle will deflect up, it will gain some velocity, and magnetic field will start applying the force immediately the particle gains velocity. So if you check out the direction of magnetic force, so it is along v cross b, so velocity is up and magnetic field is towards you. So if you are doing the cross product, so it will point towards the right. That means the particle will experience a magnetic force towards the right. So that means the particle will also have some deflection towards the right. So eventually the particle will start moving like this. Okay, so upward also and rightwards also. Effectively, if you have studied this case, the path here becomes a cycloidal path. This kind of path it will get. This is the same path that a point on a moving wheel, like a point on the circumference of a moving wheel, it has in the pure rotational motion, or sorry, pure rolling motion. So if you remember the rolling motion, so the point like the trajectory of a point on the circumference, okay, of any purely rolling wheel with constant velocity, so that is the point, the trajectory that is cycloid, same trajectory this particle will have. So one thing we must know is that at time 0 the particle was at origin. So if I put t equals to 0 in the option A, look, so y coordinate should be 0. Okay, so if I put t equals to 0 here, you can see this cos theta will become 1 and 1 minus 1 will be 0. So y coordinate is becoming 0. That means this is a possibility. Okay, if you put t equals to 0 here, then sin theta will become 0. Here you don't get y coordinate 0, which is wrong because we know that at time 0 the particle must have been at the origin. So y coordinate was 0. Again, if you put t equals to 0 in the option C, so y coordinate does not become 0. In the option D, if I put t equals to 0, then y coordinate again becomes 0. That means it is also a possibility. Now, how to eliminate between A and D? Look, if you remember, at time 0, the velocity was also 0, right? Time 0 because particle was released. So remember, dy by dt should give you velocity. So if I differentiate, or dy by dt should give you the y velocity, okay, velocity in the y-axis. So if I differentiate option D, so what is the value of dy by dt? So look, this is a constant. Let's call this constant as alpha for the time being. So alpha sine of this will become cos of this, q into b naught upon m into t, and you have to further multiply this by q b naught by m. Okay, this is the value we are going to get. Now if I put time 0 here, so this is the velocity y function. Okay, if I put time 0 here, okay, look, so that means this cos theta will become 1 and this will become alpha into q b naught by m naught, which is certainly not 0. So that means the velocity at time 0 is not becoming 0 in the option D, which is why this is also wrong. If you check out here, the velocity will become 0. Okay, you can differentiate this velocity will become 0 at time 0. You can check out. So basically velocity in the y-axis will be what? E naught into m upon q b naught square. This 1 will become 0 on differentiation, and cos theta will become minus cos theta will become sin theta. So this will be sine into q b naught by m into t, and further you will have to multiply this by q b naught by m. So you can see that the moment I put time 0 here, velocity becomes 0. Okay, that means option A is certainly correct. So as far as question solving is concerned, we can say that option A is correct. But if you really want to know how did we get this expression, like proper physics, so that also we can do. Let me show you. Okay, if you are really interested in knowing. So basically, look, let us say that at time t, okay, let us say that at time t, particle is somewhere over here. Okay, its x coordinate is x and y coordinate is y. Okay, so its velocity will be somewhat like vx I cap plus vy j cap, because as I said, it will be moving in the cycloidal motion in the xy plane. So let us say its x velocity is vx I cap plus its velocity is vx I cap plus vy j cap. All right. Now, what is the force acting on this particle at this instance? So force acting on, now basically I'll need some space, so I'm erasing this all thing. Okay, so I'm making this clutter free basically. Look, okay, now look, what is the force acting at this instance? So force due to electric field will be q e naught j cap. All right, and force due to magnetic field will be q into velocity cross magnetic field. So velocity at this instance is vx I cap plus vy j cap cross magnetic field, which is b naught k cap. Okay, now if you see, what does this become? So this is q e naught j cap. Okay, vx I cap cross b naught j cap. So remember, I cross k becomes minus j. So this will become q into vx into b naught, but with minus j cap. Okay, minus j cap, and q vy j cap cross k cap. J cross k becomes I. So this will become q into vy into b naught. Okay, and j cross k will become I cap. All right. So if you check out the force, what we are getting, so j cap is becoming, let's first write the I cap. So this becomes q into vy into b naught I cap, and then this will become q e naught minus q vx b naught j cap. This is the force in the y direction, and this is the force in the x direction, right? Now force in the x direction, which is this, will create the x acceleration, right? So we can say that mass into x acceleration, which is rate of change of x velocity, will be written as q. This will be the force into x direction, which is q into vy into b naught, and this is the force in the y direction, that will be mass into y acceleration, which is dvy by dt, right? That will be equals to q into e naught minus q into vx into b naught, right? Now look, if I differentiate this equation again, okay, if I differentiate this equation again, so what I will get, m into d2 vy by dt2. Okay, that means double derivative of y velocity. This is a constant, it will become 0. This will be minus q into b naught into dvx by dt. Look, this will become dvx by dt, and dvx by dt is q b naught into vy by m. Look, so this becomes d2 vy by dt2, and this is minus q b naught into what is the value of dvx by dt? Q into b naught. That means this will become square square into vy by m. Okay, this m you can bring here, so this becomes like this. Now if you understand this equation, this is a, like, very famous equation of SHM, if you remember. Like any function any function of this type, d2x by dt2 is equals to minus constant omega square into x. Okay, so if you remember, this means the x will be a sinusoidal function. And remember how you can write x you can write as x equals to a sine of omega t plus phi, where what is a is the called as amplitude, which is the maximum value of x, and omega is the under root of this constant, which is called as angular frequency basically. So if you see this function we are getting, so if you just put vy, if you replace vy by x, okay, vy by x, so this becomes d2x by dt2 is equals to minus constant square into x. So you can see this function perfectly satisfies the SHM equation. That means vy will follow sinusoidal function. So vy will be what? Vy maximum. That means this will be the maximum possible value of vy, which you can say is the maximum velocity in the y direction, into sine of. Now look, this under root of this quantity will become omega. Okay, this you can treat like omega square. Okay, so basically your omega becomes qb naught by m. I'll write this expression here. Omega becomes, okay, wait just a second, let me clean this first. Okay, because I do not want any, just a second. Okay, so basically omega becomes qb by m. Okay, omega is qb naught by m. Okay, that is the value of omega. So that means this becomes omega square, so this becomes omega t plus phi. Okay, now look, vym is the maximum value of vy. Okay, now look, at time 0 vy was 0. Okay, because particle was released at origin. Okay, at time 0, so vy was 0. Okay, so what you can do, you can put t equals to 0 here, and vy should be 0. So what we will get if we do this, so let me show you. So if I put vy 0 and time 0, so LHS will become 0. Okay, and RHS will become vym into sine phi. Okay, sine phi. Now clearly maximum value of velocity in y is not 0, because particle is definitely going to move in the y-axis. So that means maximum velocity cannot be 0. That means phi only will be 0. Okay, so that means what do we understand? That velocity in y function, this becomes what? Vym into sine of omega t. Okay, this is what we get, right? Now see how we can find the value of vym. So for that, what I'll do, I'll differentiate this function again. Okay, so if I differentiate this function, so dvy by dt, dvy by dt becomes acceleration in the y-axis, right? This becomes vy maximum. Okay, vy maximum, sine theta will become cos theta, and one omega will come out. Okay, so this will become like this. This is the acceleration function in the y-axis. Okay, now if you remember, at time 0, look at this. Okay, this is nothing but the acceleration in the y-axis. Yes or no? This is the acceleration in the y-axis, ay. So at time 0, the velocity in x was 0, because particle was released. So at time 0, this entire thing will be 0. At time 0, this entire thing will be 0. So acceleration in the y-axis becomes q e naught by m. Okay, acceleration in the y-axis becomes q e naught by m. Therefore, this value can be put at time 0. I'm talking about. Okay, at time equals to 0, this ay becomes what? Q e naught by m. This is the value of ay. This becomes vym into omega, and time 0 will become cos omega t will become 1. Hence, we get the value of vym as q e naught by m omega. Okay, now it's over. So vym we have got. So that means value of y, velocity in y becomes q e naught by m omega into sine omega t, right? Now vy can be written as dy by dt. That means this dt you can bring on the LHS. Okay, so that means this becomes sine omega t dt. Okay, so when we integrate this again, so let's do the indefinite integration. So dy will become y. Okay, and this will become q e naught by m omega. Sine theta will become minus cos theta. Okay, upon omega again, so this will become omega square, plus a constant of integration y naught. Okay, now look, at time 0 y was 0. So if I put t equals to 0 here, if I put t equals to 0 here, so y should be 0. So that means 0 should be equals to minus q e naught by m omega square plus y naught. So the value of y naught becomes what? Q e naught by m omega square. Okay, value of y naught becomes q e naught by m omega square. Okay, m omega square. That means if you see, if you put this value of y naught again, so value of y is becoming what? You can take q e naught by m omega square common, because this value I'm putting here. So this will become 1 minus cos omega t. Okay, and now if you put the value of omega, remember it was bq by m. So this is q e naught upon m, and this is b square q square by m square into 1 minus cos of bq by m into t. Okay, so if you see, what does this become? This becomes m e naught upon q b square into 1 minus cos of bq by m. Okay, so sorry, 1 minus cos of bq by m. Okay, so this is what we are getting, and you can see this is the exact function which was given to you. Okay, so I hope you have understood how we would have gotten this function. This is very good question, I definitely would have understood, but I have also told you how you can solve this question in the mains exam. All right, let us see this question now. In this, we have to find the frequency of the oscillations of the current in the inductor. So look, basically this is a question of LC oscillations. Okay, so here let's first find the L equivalent and C equivalent of this circuit. All right, so look, inductors, we know when these inductors are in series, and when you add up the inductors in series, then all you have to do is simply L equivalent will be L1 plus L2. All right, that means 6L plus 12 will be how much? 8L. All right, now if you look at these two capacitors, they are in parallel. So we know that capacitors can be simply added in parallel. So C plus 2C will become 3C. Okay, and now this overall 3C is in series with 6C. Okay, because if I can show you the circuit also, so basically 6L and 2L will become 8L, so that I'm showing you like 8L. Okay, and then this 3C and 6C will be in series. Look, this is 3C and this is 6C. All right, so they will be in series. So now they are in series, so we can club them in series, and what will be C equivalent? So it will be C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. All right, that means 3C into 6C divided by 3 plus 6, which is 9C. So from here we can see that this becomes 6 by 3, which is 2C. Okay, so this is the value of C equivalent. Now so that means effectively this circuit becomes a single inductor and single capacitor circuit. Okay, and the equivalent capacitance is 2C. Now we know that the frequency of the oscillations is 1 upon 2 pi under root LC. Okay, where L is L equivalent into C is C equivalent. All right, so basically we can say that, I mean, L is the overall inductance here, which is 8L. Okay, and C is the overall capacitance here, which is 2C. So how much will this become? This will become 8 to the 16, so it will become 4 to the 8 pi LC. Okay, 1 upon 8 pi under root LC. So option B will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right, let us see this question now. In this, there is an opaque sphere of radius A, which is just immersed in a transparent liquid as shown in the figure. Okay, there's a point source of light which is placed at a distance of 0.4 A from the top of the sphere. So this distance is 0.4 A. There's one ray which is originating from the point source after the refraction from the air liquid interface forms tangent to the sphere. Okay, so angle of refraction for that ray is given 37, and we have to find the refractive index of the liquid. I'll explain the situation. So imagine that we have this sphere. Okay, imagine that we have this sphere. Okay, and this is the boundary. Okay, like above this boundary we have air, and below this boundary we have let's say some liquid. Okay, now wait, let's say this is some point. Wait, let me choose some other color, black color. This is some point from which the ray is coming, so let's see, call this point as O. Okay, so let me draw a vertical normal. Okay, like this. Okay, which will pass through the center of the sphere. So C is the center of the sphere. Now from here what happens, the ray, there's one particular ray which comes like this. Okay, and after refraction it will just touch the sphere, and it will go like this. Okay, so this is where the tangent is there, and refraction happens at the point P, let us say. So if I draw a normal at the point P, so this angle is 37. Notice, okay, this angle is 37, which is the angle of refraction given to you. Okay, now if I do some construction activity, wait, let me first reduce the size of this line, because otherwise it will become cluttered. So this is the normal. Okay, now look, I can join this C to this point. Okay, let's call this point as some T, where tangent is being drawn, and let's extrapolate this line PT slightly behind. Okay, so this angle will also be 37. Okay, this angle will also be 37 degrees, as you can understand, because the line OC and this line, they are normal, like both are parallel, sorry. Okay, so let's call this point as some point A, this point as some point B. All right, now OB is 0.4A, so this is also given to you in the question. 0.4A, this is given to you. Now what I'll do, I'll use some geometry here. So if in the triangle ACT, look, this angle will be 90 because this is the radius and this is the tangent. So in triangle ACT, okay, in triangle ACT, if you look, sine 37 will be perpendicular upon hypotenuse, right? So sine 37 is how much? 3 by 5. That will be perpendicular, which is A, okay, upon hypotenuse, which is AC. Look, AC is the hypotenuse, and AC can be written as AB plus BC. So AC can be written as AB plus BC. BC is again the radius. So basically you can say that from here if I cross multiply, so 5a will become 3 times ab plus 3 times a. That means 2a by 3 will be ab. Okay, so the value of ab we have found out. Now what I'll do, I'll again in this triangle ABP, okay, in the triangle ABP, in triangle ABP, if I find the value of tan 37, look, so tan 37 basically will be how much? Tan 37 is 3 by 4, okay, and tan 37 will be how much? BP upon AB, okay, BP upon AB. Look, now AB, sorry, AB, not BP. So tan 37 is BP upon AB, okay. AB is again 2a by 3. So if I put the value of AB here, so BP will become 3 by 4 times AB, which is 2a by 3. That means this will become a by 2. So the value of BP becomes a by 2. Now the question is over. Let's say that this angle is I, okay, angle of incidence. Basically you can see that this angle will also be I, okay, which is why we are saying this angle is also I, because these two are alternate angles. So if this angle is I, so this angle will also be I, right? Now basically tan I, if you look in this triangle OBP, okay, in triangle OBP, in triangle OBP, tan I will be BP upon OB, okay, tan I will be BP upon OB, okay, and BP is how much? BP is a by 2 and OB is 0.4a, okay, so that means this becomes 0.8. That means this will be how much? 4 by 5, so 5 by 4. This is the value of tan I, okay, the value of tan I is 5 by 4, okay. Now if using the triangle method, if we have calculated the value of tan I like 5 by 4, so naturally this will be hypotenuse, this will be root 41. So sin I can be calculated using the triangle, which is how much? 5 by root of 41, okay, 5 by root of 41 is the value of sin I. And now we can apply the Snell's law at the point P very easily. So if applying the Snell's law at the point P will give you 1 into sin I, okay, is equals to 1 into sin I is equals to mu of the liquid into sine of R, correct? Sine I we know is 5 by root 41, okay, mu we have to find, and R was 37, so sine 37 we know is how much? 3 by 5, correct? That means mu becomes how much? 25 by 3 root 41, okay, 25 by 3 root 41. Now see, 25 by 3 root 41, if you do the rough calculations, so we can say that root 41 will be something what? 6 point 5 nearly. Basically you can say 25 upon 3 into 6.5, if roughly if I take about 5 by nearly 14, 5 by 14, so 6.4 we can take, near about 6.4, okay. So this much will be what? This will be how much? 6 threes are 18, and 25 by 19.2, like approximately. So 25 upon 19.2 will be nearly how much? It will be basically you can say that. So I think it will be nearly 19. It will be 0.6. 19 is a 57. So 1.3 in my opinion will be the answer for this, because 19 is just 57. So 0.6, yes. So 1.3 will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you have understood. All right. It's a good question, of course. Many of you might have struggled in this physics part of it, but overall it's a good question. All right. So let us see this question here. What happens? This is a photon which is radiated from hydrogen corresponding to the second line of Lyman series, is absorbed by a hydrogen-like atom in the fourth excited state. As a result, the hydrogen-like atom X makes a transition to the nth orbit. Then, so basically, what is happening here, if we understand, is a photon which is radiated from a hydrogen corresponding to the second line of Lyman series. Basically, so look, what is the meaning of second line of Lyman series? So Lyman means that transition happens to n equals to 1, and since it is a second line, that means it is happening from third level. So n equals to 3 to n equals to 1. Okay, so that is what basically transition second line of Lyman series means. Okay, so now this photon, whenever the electron jumps from the third state to the first state, so a photon will be released. Now this photon has been absorbed by a hydrogen like atom in the fourth excited state. Okay, look, it is in the fourth excited state, and as a result hydrogen like atom makes transition to the nth orbit, nth orbit. Then the value so we have to find two things, that which is this hydrogen like atom, and what is the value of n. So look, first let us understand that what is the energy of the photon which was emitted when this in the second line of Lyman series. So what is the E1 for hydrogen? Look, E1 for hydrogen we know is minus 13.6 electron volt, and what is the E3 of hydrogen? E3 will be minus 13.6 divided by 9, right? So this will become how much? Minus 1.51 nearly. Okay, so if we do the difference, E3 minus E1, so that will be minus 1.51 plus 13.6. So this will become how much? This will become 12.09 electron volt approximately. So basically we can say that this is the energy of the photon released. Okay, this is the energy of the photon released, and now this photon was absorbed by we can say the hydrogen like element in the fourth excited state. Okay, hydrogen like element in the fourth excited state. Okay, fourth excited state means n equals to 5. Remember, it is not n equals to 4. Fourth excited state means n equals to 5. Okay, so look, this photon, when it is absorbed by a fourth excited state atom, so basically what will happen, it will jump to a higher state. Okay, that means the energy of this photon will be is equals to energy of the transition, basically the electron, the energy that electron will need in going from fifth state to the higher state. So you will write this as 13.6 into z square by 1 by n square, which is 25, minus 1 by higher state n square. So so the electron will need 12.09 electron volt to go from 25 to the higher state n. Okay, this is the idea. All right, now see, look, the idea over here is that we have to now check the options, because there are two variables, and of course we have got one equation, but we understand that z and n both must be an integer. Okay, z and n both must be an integer. This is the key thing. In fact, for better calculation, what you can do, you can write this also as if you see what was 12.09, so 12.09 was 13.6 minus 13.6 by 9. Yes or no? 12.09 is 13.6 minus 13.6 by 9. This is exactly what we had done. Okay, 13.6 by 9 was 1.51, and basically 13.6 is here. So this value we were calling as 12.09. So to ease out the calculation, you can write 12.09 as 13.6 minus 13.6 by 9 into z square into 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square. This will keep things easy. Okay, now what we can do, we can cancel 13.6. So this becomes 1 minus 1 by 9, which is 8 by 9, is equals to z square into 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square. Okay, now look, if I assume that atom is helium. Okay, so if I assume that atom is helium, that means z will be what? Z will be 2. Okay, so if z will be 2, so basically let's check. If I put 2 here, so this will become 4. So 8 by 9, this will be is equals to 4 into 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square. Okay, so look, 4 and 4, this will become 2 by 9. So 2 by 9 will be is equals to 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square, which means 1 by n square will be what? 1 by 25 minus 2 by 9. Okay, now see, if you think carefully, this is a negative value. Okay, 1 by 25 minus 2 by 9, this is a negative value, and n cannot be negative, which is why this is wrong. Again, if I put z as 3, okay, if I put z as 3 here, so for the lithium, so z will become 3. So that means what will this become? So this will become 8 by 9 into 8 by 9 is equals to 3 square is 9 into 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square. Okay, so again look, 1 by n is, so 9 and 9, so 9 this you can bring here. This will become 8 by 81 is equals to 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square. So what is the value of 1 by n square? So again 1 by n square is 1 by 25 minus 8 by 81. Okay, 8 by 81. Again you must understand that this value is negative, so this is also not allowed. Okay, let's check for the boron. Boron is how much? Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. Boron means 5. Hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. So that means Z will be 5. So if I put Z as 5 here, okay, so look, Z I am putting as 5. Okay, so this will be 8 by 9 is equals to 25 into 1 by 25 minus 1 by n square. This 25 you can bring inside, so 8 by 9 is equals to 1 minus 25 by n square. So 25 by n square becomes how much? 1 minus 8 by 9, so that means this will be 1 by 9. So n square becomes what? N square becomes 9 into 25. That means n becomes how much? 3 into 5, which means it is 15, and this matches perfectly. So this is absolute possibility. Let's check option D also for understanding why it is not correct. But if you can see, if n is 15, so if you put n equals to, like option D is saying ki n is like if you put n equals to 15 here, okay, like we just proved ki since C is right, C is perfectly satisfying this equation. That means if n is equals to 15, okay, if n equals to 15 and z is equals to 5, will satisfy this equation. That means n equals to 15 and for carbon z will be 6. So z equals to 6 cannot satisfy, right? Because if 5 comma 15 is satisfying this equation, then definitely 6 comma 15 cannot satisfy. It's very obvious. So of course you can check it out on your own, that if you put z equals to 6 and n equals to 15, then this equation will not be satisfied, which means option D is also wrong. Hence the C is the correct answer. I hope you have understood. All right, Let us see this question. When a monochromatic source of light is at a distance of 0.2 meter from a photoelectric cell, the cutoff voltage and the saturation current are 0.6 volt and 48 milliampere. If the same source is placed 0.8 meter away, then we have to talk about the stopping potential and the saturation current. So look, what is happening here? There is a source of light which is at a distance of 0.2 meter from the cell. Okay, so suppose this is the cell. Okay, and this is a source of light which is at a distance of d, and d is equals to, let's say, d1 basically is 0.2 meter. Okay, now look, the idea here is that the intensity of the light, okay, intensity of the light at the location of the photocell is given as power of the source. So let us say p naught is the power of the source. Power basically means the energy released per second, how much energy is being released per second. So power upon 4 pi d square. So essentially, you must understand that intensity of the light is inversely proportional to 1 by d square, where d is the distance between the source of the light and the photocell. All right. Now here the idea is that key in the first case, the distance between the point source of the light and the cell was 0.2 meters, but in the second situation the source has been made 0.8 meters away. Okay, that means distance, if you understand, has been made 4 times, right? D2 is 0.8 meters, correct? So basically we can say that in this situation the distance has become 4 times. Okay, distance has become 4 times. So if distance has become 4 times, so we can say that intensity will become how much? 1 by 16 times. So basically the new intensity will be 1 by 16 times the old intensity, because as you can see that intensity is inversely proportional to 1 by d square. So if you make d as 4d, so you can say that 4 square will come in the denominator, which is going to make intensity as 1 by 16 times the original value, right? Now in the first case, the cutoff voltage and the saturation currents were this. Cutoff voltage means 0.6 volt. Cutoff voltage basically means stopping potential, and the saturation current was 48 milliampere. Now look, if you decrease the intensity of the light, so stopping potential will not change. Why so? It's very obvious, because using the Einstein's equation, we can say that energy of a photon, okay, energy of a photon, so light rays will be falling here, energy of a photon will be h into frequency. Okay, this will be equals to work function plus Ke max. All of us know this, and Ke max can be written as E into stopping potential, where E is the magnitude of the charge on the electron and Vs is the stopping potential. So look, stopping potential depends on the frequency of the light, not the intensity. Okay, hence we can say that since frequency has been kept unchanged, which means that stopping potential will remain unchanged. So stopping potential will remain 0.6. That means this is wrong, this is wrong. Okay, now what about intensity? Look, intensity is proportional to the so if the frequency is kept constant, then we can say that intensity is proportional to the number of photons falling on the cell. Okay, so for constant frequency, intensity is proportional to the number of photons falling on the cell per second. Okay, intensity is proportional to the number of photons falling on the cell per second. Hence we can say that if earlier n1 number of photons were falling, okay, then finally what will happen? N2 will be n1 by 16, because intensity has gone down by a factor of 16. So we can say that n2 will be n1 by 16. Hence the total number of photons falling per second will go down by a factor of 16, which means we can say that number of electrons emitted will also go down by a factor of 16. Okay, basically if you say that the efficiency of the cell is constant, which means ki number of electron emitted upon number of photons fallen on the cell, which is the ratio of how many electrons are being emitted per number of photons basically falling. So basically if I assume this factor is constant, so we can say that if the number of photons falling is gone down by a factor of 16, so number of electrons emitted will also go down by a factor of 16. So the saturation current basically will go down by a factor of 16. So 48 milliampere will go down by a factor of 16, so it will become 3 milliampere. Okay, so option C will be the correct answer. Option D will also be a wrong answer. I hope you have understood. All right. In this question, guys, there's a light of intensity I which falls along the axis of a perfectly reflecting light circular cone having the semi-vertical angle theta, and the base radius is r. E is the energy of one photon and c the speed of light. So we have to find the number of photons hitting the cone per second. All right. So imagine the situation. Let us say this is the uh, flat side of the cone, and this is the you know like apex of the cone. So this angle is called theta here. All right. Now the light is coming along the axis of the cone. So if you see, this is the axis of the cone and light is coming along the axis of the cone, so we can say that, let us say light is coming along this direction. Okay, so light can come like this also and like this also, it will not make any difference. So basically light, let us say, hits the flat surface. Okay, so basically look, the intensity of the light has been given as I. Okay, now intensity effectively means energy falling per unit area per unit time. Okay, energy falling per unit area per unit time, or you can also say power per unit area. Okay, so if I ask you the total power received by the cone, total power received by the cone will be intensity into the area of this surface. Okay, area of this surface, because effectively the light is falling on this surface, and you can say the area vector is perpendicular to the sorry, area vector is along the light basically. So you can say that, you know, this will become intensity into the area of this flat surface, which is nothing but pi r square. Okay, so this is the power received by the cone. Now what does power mean? Power means energy received by the cone per second. Okay, so you can say that this is the energy received by the cone per second. Correct. Now look, if you have to find the number of photons falling per second, okay, that is what we have to find, number of photons falling per second. So how will you find it? Energy received by the cone per second, which is p, divided by energy of one photon. Yes or no? Energy received per second divided by energy of one photon will give you the number of photons falling per second. For example, if you wanted to find the energy received per second, so how would you have done? Energy of one photon multiplied by number of photons falling per second. Okay, that means p will become ne. So n can be written as p by e. That means I into pi r square upon e. This will be the answer. Okay, so I into pi r square upon e. So option D will be the answer. This is the number of photons falling per second. All right, I hope you would have understood this. Here what happens, there is a ball 1 which collides head on with another identical ball 2 at rest. Velocity of the ball 2 after collision becomes 4 times to that of the ball 1 after the collision. The coefficient of restitution we have to find. So let's see, basically this is a ball 1. Let's call this as ball 1. Okay, it collides head on with another identical ball 2 at rest. So let us say it is coming at speed u. Okay, there's an identical ball 2 at rest. So it is at rest. Okay, and both will have equal masses because they are identical. Now, after collision, what happens? The velocity of the ball 2 after collision becomes 4 times to that of ball 1 after collision. That means if the ball 1 is going at speed v, okay, this is the ball 1, then ball 2 will go at 4v. Okay, this is what the this second line means. So we have to find the restitution, value of restitution. So again, very simple. You can see that restitution is nothing but velocity of separation, which is v2 minus v1, which is, that means 4v minus v, divided by velocity of approach. Velocity of approach is u1 minus u2, that means u minus 0. So E can be written as 3v upon u. This is the first equation. Secondly, we know that momentum will remain conserved, which means m into u. Okay, m into u plus 0, because this was at rest. That should be equals to m into v plus m into 4v. That means this will become 5mv. 5mv will be equals to mu. So from here you can see that u by v is what? U by v is 5. So basically v by u is 1 upon 5. Okay, v by u is 1 upon 5. So we can say that restitution will be 3 by 5. So option A will be the correct answer for this question. Very easy question. I think you all must have done this. Okay. Here what happens is a balloon which is going upward with a constant velocity of 25 meters per second. When the balloon is at a height of 120 meters, a stone is dropped outside from the balloon. The time taken by the stone to reach the ground. Again, a simple question from vertical gravity. Okay. So basically here, let's say there's a balloon, which this is the ground, let's imagine. So at a particular moment when the balloon was over here, okay, that means this height was given as 120 meter. Okay, this 120 meter. So this balloon is constantly moving up at a speed of how much? 25 meter per second. So velocity of balloon, you can say, is u is equals to 25 meter per second. Okay, now from here a stone has been released. So look, whenever a body is released from a moving object, so the body released acquires the velocity of the moving object. That means the stone, when it is released, so it will also start moving up at a speed of 25 meter per second. Okay, this is what will happen. Okay, it will start moving up at a speed of u, and now because of gravity it will slow down, and then it will stop. Okay, it will stop and then it will fall back on the ground. Okay, so this is the landing point, let us say, and let us say it was released at the point O. So if you look from point O to point L, effectively displacement is minus 120. Okay, so I can use S is equals to ut plus half at square for the balloon. Okay, if I assume upward as the positive direction, so displacement is negative basically, so displacement will become minus 120. Initial velocity is plus 25 into the time, and acceleration is minus gravity, which is 10. Okay, then this will become t square. All right, so from here you can see that this becomes how much? This will be 5, and this will cancel by 5, so this will become minus 24, which will be is equals to 5t minus t square. Okay, so that means this becomes t square minus 5t minus 24 equals to 0. So look, this becomes t minus 8 into t plus 3. All right, that should be equals to 0. The roots will be minus 8 and 3. So we can say that this will become t, the value of t will be 8 and minus 3. Now minus of course will be rejected. That means stone will reach the ground at t is equals to 8 seconds. I hope you would have understood. All right. Then here what happens? Two identical containers A and B with frictionless pistons contain the same ideal gas at same temperature and same volume. The mass of gas in A is 2 grams. The gas in each cylinder is now allowed to expand isothermally to the same final volume 2V. The changes in the pressure in A and B are found to be delta P and 1.5 delta P. Then the mass of the gas in the container. Let's understand this, what is happening here. So you have two identical containers. So first let's imagine that this is the container A and this is the container B. Okay. Now look, both are having some piston. So basically let us say this is the situation of the piston to begin with. Okay, so this is the situation here also, right? Now they contain the same ideal gas. Same ideal gas means the molar mass will be same at same temperature and same volume. Okay, so we can say that, let us say here the volume is V, temperature is T. Volume is V, temperature is T. All right. The mass of the gas in A is 2 grams. So here the mass of the gas is 2 grams. Okay, M1 is equals to 2 grams. Here they have not given. So let's say M2 is what? I think they are asking the same thing. Okay, M2 we have to find. Okay. Now gas in each cylinder is now allowed to expand isothermally to the same final volume 2V. That means here the piston will go to the final volume 2V. So volume will double. Here also the volume will double. Right? In both the situations, the volume will double. Changes in the pressure A and B are found to be delta P and 1.5 delta P respectively, and we have to find the value of M2. So look, we can say that since the value of the temperature is constant, so we can say that gas will follow isothermal process. Okay. Now look, what we can say is that if I look at the gas A, so pressure, initial pressure was P, initial volume was V, is equals to moles. Let us say this gas has N1 number of moles. Okay, here we have N1 number of moles, and let us say here we have N2 number of moles. So N1 into R into T. Correct? This is what we will write for this gas. All right. Now, since gas will follow isothermal process, so we can say that P1 V1 will be, so for the gas A, I'm saying for the gas A, P1 V1 will be equals to P2 V2. Okay. So let us say initial pressure here was P1. Okay. So you will say P1 into initial volume was V is equals to final pressure, which will be look, P final into volume was 2V. Okay, volume has been doubled. So we can say that here the final pressure is how much? P1 by 2, right? P1 by 2. Okay. Let's say here the final pressure is P2. Sorry, initial pressure. I'm saying initial pressure is P2. Okay. Here the initial pressure is P2. So if I apply the PV is equals to nRT, so we will write P2 V is equals to N2 RT. Here the number of moles is N2. So again, this gas is also following the isothermal process. So again, you can say that P2 into V, P2 into V, which is equals to initial pressure into initial volume. That will be final pressure here into final volume, which is again 2V. Okay, so we can say that here the final pressure is how much? Again, P2 by 2. Look, P2 by 2, right? Now they have given you one information, that what is the change in the pressure of first. So change in the pressure of first is delta P. So look, for the gas A, what is the change in the pressure? Delta P. That will be P final minus P, because P final minus P1. That means this becomes P1 by 2 minus P1, which means this is minus delta P1 by 2. Okay, and this value they are calling as delta P. Correct? Here the change in the pressure is 1.5 delta P, right? 1.5 delta P, and that is equals to final pressure minus initial pressure. That means Pf dash minus P2. That means this will be minus delta P2 minus sorry, 1 second. This will be not delta, will not come here. Yeah, this will be, just a second. Yeah, P2 is Pf dash is P2 by 2, so this will become minus P2 by 2, right? And this value is 1.5 delta P. Correct? 1.5 delta P, right? So if you see this equation and this equation, so if I put the value of delta P here, okay, if I put the value of delta P here, so 1.5 delta P is minus P1 by 2, minus P1 by 2 is equals to minus P2 by 2, right? So what do we understand? That P2 is equals to 1.5 P1. P2 is equals to 1.5 P1, right? Now look, this question is over. So this was the gas B, this was the gas A. So if I divide gas B by gas A, so P2 by P1, P2 by P1 will be equals to N2 by N1, and P2 by P1 is 1.5. So that means N2 by N1 will also be 1.5. Now here, if N1 number of moles are there, so here N2 number of moles are there. So what is the value of N1? Mass of the gas upon molar mass. What is the value of N2? Mass of the gas in the second container upon molar mass. So we can say that N2 by N1 will be equals to M2 by M1, and N2 by N1 is 1.5. Okay, so M2 becomes how much? 1.5 into M1, which means 3 grams. Okay, so that means in this container also the gas is 3 grams. I hope you have understood. All right. In this question, there is a uniform surface charge density sigma is given to quarter infinite non-conducting plane in the first quadrant basically, and we have to find the potential difference at the point 00D and 003D. So let's try to understand the situation. Look, xy axis is given to you, and let me just construct z axis also. So this will be the z axis. All right, this is the z axis. All right. Now look, somewhere over here there's a point 00D. So let's call this point as A. Okay, this point I'm calling as A, 00D, and this is 003D. Okay, so let's call this point as B. Okay, this point is B. Now look, if I imagine one more quarter sheet here. Okay, let's imagine one more quarter sheet here. Let's imagine one more quarter sheet here in the xy plane, and here also one more quarter sheet. So basically whole xy plane will become a full infinite sheet, right? And for an infinite sheet, we know that electric field is sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. This is the electric field. Okay. Now look, if I talk about point A and B, so remember potential difference between the 2 points. So electric field will be coming towards us. Okay, direction of electric field will be towards the z axis. Okay. So basically, if I write this in the vector form, so this you can write as k cap. Okay, this is the direction of the electric field. Okay. Now remember, VB minus VA can be written as what? You know, negative of E dot dr. Okay, integrated from A to B. Yes or no? So look, this electric field is sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Okay. Now since electric field is constant, so basically this can come out of integral sign because it is constant in direction and magnitude basically, and dr will become, so dr when integrated will become r vector. That means this will become position vector of B minus position vector of A, right? So effectively this becomes sigma upon 2 epsilon naught into position of B, which is 3d k cap. Okay, 3d k cap. Okay, sorry, here this was also k cap was also present. Dot position of B is 3d k cap. Okay, minus position of A is d k cap. Okay, so if you see, this becomes minus sigma upon 2 epsilon naught. Okay, into 2d. This is what we are getting. So that means VA minus VB. Basically VA minus VB. This is VB minus VA. So VA minus VB will be sigma into d upon epsilon naught. This is the value of VA minus VB. This is the potential difference. Okay, but look, we have to find the potential difference due to just this sheet, this quarter. Now of course this A and B points are exactly symmetrical with respect to all 4 quarters. So you can see that if the total of 4 quarters, like quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, they total have created this potential difference. So if you talk about just the potential difference due to 1 quarter, okay, potential difference due to 1 quarter, so it will be 1/4 of the total value. So answer will be, just because of 1 quarter if I talk about, so VA minus VB due to the quarter 1 will be what? 1/4 of the total value. Okay, so if you compare this, so this A will become 4. Okay, I hope you have understood. All right. Here what happens, there is a rectangular loop of side of length 2 cm and 3 cm placed in the xy plane. A uniform but time varying magnetic field is given like this. Okay, what the magnitude of the induced EMF at t equals to 100 seconds. So let's understand what is happening here. This is the xy plane and this is the z axis. Okay, so if you understand here, what is happening is that, look, what is the, so what I will do, I will simply use the Faraday's law. Let's write the flux first. So flux due to magnetic field will be B dot area. Okay, B dot area. Now look, area, this loop is placed in the xy plane. Okay, loop is in the xy plane. So you can assume the direction of area vector either towards the z axis or minus z axis, anything which you like. So let me assume the area vector is towards us. Okay, because area vector must be perpendicular. So what is the area vector here? So area vector will become how much? 0.02 into 0.03 into k cap. Okay, So this becomes how much? 0.006. Okay, 3 to the 6 and 3 to the 6 and 2 zeros, right? No, I think 3 zeros will be there, right? 3 to the 6 and 1 2 3 4. Yes. So this k cap, okay, this k cap is the area vector. So if you are doing the dot product of B with the area vector, so you can see that I dot k will be 0, J dot k will also be 0. Only this k dot k will create the flux. So you can see that this will become 50 t square into 0.006. 50 t square into 0.0006. This is the magnitude of the flux as a function of time, and we know that magnitude of the induced EMF is mod of d phi b by dt. Okay, so that means if I differentiate this flux as a function of time, so what will you get? 50 to the 100 t into 0.0006. Okay, we have to find this value at t equals to 100. So effectively you can see that this value becomes what? 100t into 0.0006. So at t equals to 100, if you put, so this value will become 6, I believe. Yeah, this is coming out to be 6. So 6 will be the answer. Okay, then in Young's double slit experiment, the fringe width is 0.8 mm. If the whole apparatus is immersed in the water of refractive index 4/3 without disturbing the arrangement, then the new fringe width we have to find in the representation of k into 0.1 mm. So look, we know that fringe width is lambda into capital D by small d. If I try to find this value in the millimeter, so what happens? Lambda is how much? Lambda is basically, okay, so they have directly given you the value of the fringe width, which is 0.8 mm. So this is even easier question. They have given you the value of the fringe width. Now when the whole apparatus is dipped in a medium of refractive index mu, then what happens? Lambda goes down by a factor of mu. So we can say that new lambda will become lambda upon mu. Capital D will remain unchanged and small d will remain unchanged. Okay, so this will be the new fringe width. You might recall that fringes compress. Why? Because the fringe becomes narrower. Basically, width of the fringe decreases because you are getting an extra factor of mu in the denominator. So if you look, this value was 0.8 mm. Okay, this value was 0.8 mm, and mu is how much? 4/3. So that means this will become 0.6 mm. Okay, 0.6 mm. Hence this is 6 into 0.1 mm. Okay, so that means this k will be nothing but 6. I hope you would have understood. Thank you so much.
There is a sequence of organic reactions given for the compound X and final product is Y. We need to identify correct statement related to Y. So the first reaction is actually hydroboration oxidation, right? Hydroboration oxidation is an anti-addition of water. एक तरह का anti-addition of water का product होता है. तो जो यहाँ पे H and OH बनेगा, this is also an anti-Marconic product of water. So OH and H will be attached like this. In the next step, we have tosyl chloride. Tosyl chloride will actually convert OH into OTS. So H and OTS will be here. In the next step, we have been given tertiary butoxide. Tertiary butoxide will cause E2 elimination. And in E2 elimination, the leaving group and beta hydrogen should be in the opposite side. So this beta hydrogen will not go because it is in the same side of OTS group. So this beta hydrogen will go to form this product as the final product Y. All right, and clearly it is the position isomer of X, so A is correct. It is formed by anti-elimination in the last step is also correct. It is an oxidation product of X. No, this is not the oxidation product, rather this is the same compound, but the isomer of compound X actually. All right, तो ये आपका Y है, तो A और B दोनों statement correct है, therefore correct option is D. Okay. This question is related to De Chatelet principle. There is a heterogeneous equilibrium of ice and liquid water, and they are asking about the correct statement. Pressure change do not affect the equilibrium. We know that by increasing pressure in heterogeneous equilibrium, equilibrium will be shifted to the direction where volume decreases or density increases, right? So if we melt ice, then volume will decrease and density will increase. That means on increasing pressure, this equilibrium will shift to forward direction. That means more solid will melt if pressure on the system is increased. So C option is going to be correct. A incorrect है. More of ice melt if temperature on the system is decreased. No, temperature increase करने पर ice melt करता है. Pressure change may increase or decrease the degree of advancement of the reaction depending on the temperature of the system. This is also not a correct statement. So your right option is C. The given below are the two statement, assertion and reason, and you have to check which one is correct and if a reason is a correct explanation of assertion or not. 5f electrons can participate in bonding to a far greater extent than 4f electron. That's correct. Actually 5f पे न्यूक्लियस का impact कम होता है. Therefore 5f is less penetrated towards nucleus than 4f, so its electron can participate in bonding. E is correct. 5f orbitals are not as buried as 4f orbital. This is also correct, and this is a correct explanation of actually assertion. So your answer is both A and R are correct, but R is the correct and R is the correct explanation of A. So B is the correct answer of this question. All right. Correct statement for the given reaction. Actually ये जो कंपाउंड लिखा हुआ है आपकी स्क्रीन पे, दिस इज स्क्वायरिक एसिड. अगर हम इसको 2 मोल 2 इक्विवेलेंट बेस दे देते हैं तो ये एक्चुअली डाई एनायन में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है. O minus डबल बॉन्ड O डबल बॉन्ड O. And now I can draw 4 resonating structure of this compound. O minus double bond O double bond O. Every carbon oxygen bond are going to be equivalent. इस बार डबल बॉन्ड यहाँ लगा दिया O minus डबल बॉन्ड O. एंड एक और स्ट्रक्चर बनेगा जहाँ पे कार्बन कार्बन डबल बॉन्ड यहाँ लगा दिया, यहाँ पे O माइनस डबल बॉन्ड O डबल बॉन्ड O. Now you can check all carbon carbon bonds are getting double bond and single bond, right? So all are equivalent carbon carbon bond. All carbon oxygen bonds are actually equivalent carbon oxygen bond. तो सारे कार्बन ऑक्सीजन का बॉन्ड लेंथ बराबर है, सभी कार्बन कार्बन का बॉन्ड लेंथ बराबर है. नाउ कमिंग टू the options. Compound B is aromatic, is it? Check. Like इस compound को मैं ऐसे लिख सकता हूँ. It will be, यहाँ पे 2 pi इलेक्ट्रॉन है एक्चुअली, तो this is going to be aromatic. Yes, it is going to be aromatic. Compound B is aromatic. यहाँ पे सब जगह आप डबल बॉन्ड या फिर सिंगल बॉन्ड लगा सकते हो. इनफैक्ट डिलोकलाइज फॉर्म में रहेंगे सारे. मैं सारे चार्जेस हटा देता हूँ, चार्जेस एवरेज आउट हो जाएंगे. यहाँ भी डॉटेड लाइन बना देता हूँ, सब जगह डबल सिंगल के बीच का कैरेक्टर होगा. एग्जैक्ट बॉन्ड ऑर्डर निकाल सकते हैं एवरेज आउट करके, बट इस तरह से आप यहाँ पे जैसे 2 नेगेटिव चार्ज है ऑक्सीजन पे, तो हर एक पे -1/2 चार्ज हो जाएगा. 4 ऑक्सीजन है, राइट. और एरोमेटिसिटी की कंडीशंस को पूरा कर रहा है ये, बिकॉज ऑल कार्बन एंड aromaticity की कंडीशन पूरा कर रहा है बिकॉज द 2 pi electrons are present inside the ring which is in completely delocalized form. तो कंपाउंड B is aromatic, करेक्ट है. एंड completion of above reaction is very slow. ये गलत है बिकॉज द प्रोटॉन्स आर एक्चुअली काफी एसिडिक है. प्रोटॉन आसानी से दे देगा बिकॉज आफ्टर लॉस ऑफ प्रोटॉन after formation of dianion, this is equivalent resonating structure which will provide extra stability to this dianion, right? तो रैपिड रिएक्शन होगा. ए सोर्स टॉटोमेरिज्म, यस ये इनॉल फॉर्म है तो कीटो फॉर्म बना सकते हैं. तो ए करेक्ट है, सी करेक्ट है. द बॉन्ड लेंथ ऑफ सी सी इन कंपाउंड बी आर फाउंड टू बी सेम. डी भी करेक्ट है. ए करेक्ट है, सी करेक्ट है, डी करेक्ट है. ए सी डी, दैट मीन्स आपका ऑप्शन सी इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन. गुड क्वेश्चन. Which of the following metal complexes is most stable? देखो स्टेबिलिटी जो होती है कॉम्प्लेक्स की बहुत सारे फैक्टर पे डिपेंड करती है, और उसमें एक फैक्टर है स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ लीगेंड, डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ लीगेंड. तो अगर हम स्ट्रेंथ की बात करें तो जो इथिलीन डायमीन होता है इसका स्ट्रेंथ अमोनिया से ज्यादा होता है. तो दिस कंपाउंड कॉम्प्लेक्स वेयर 3 इन लीगेंड्स आर प्रेजेंट इज फाउंड टू बी द मोस्ट स्टेबल. क्लोराइड का तो वैसे ही स्ट्रेंथ बहुत कम होता है, तो अगर हम इन अमोनिया एंड क्लोराइड में कंपेयर करेंगे तो ये स्ट्रेंथ का ऑर्डर होगा. तो जितना ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग लिगेंड प्रेजेंट होगा कॉम्प्लेक्स के अंदर, कॉम्प्लेक्स की स्टेबिलिटी उतनी ज्यादा होगी. ऑलराइट. द करेक्ट ऑर्डर ऑफ देयर स्टेबिलिटी, देयर रिएक्टिविटी टुवर्ड्स हाइड्रोलिसिस एट रूम टेम्परेचर. देखो आपका एसिड हाइलाइट, then acid anhydride, then ester. ये जो 4 एसिड के डेरिवेटिव्स होते हैं इसमें अगर मुझे रिएक्टिविटी निकालना हो, क्योंकि सब में जो मोस्ट कॉमन रिएक्शन होती है वो होती है SN2TH, लाइक न्यूक्लियोफाइल आया और टेट्राहेड्रल इंटरमीडिएट बना RCO-X न्यूक्लियोफाइल, और ये फिर यहाँ से निकल जाएगा। तो ये जितना अच्छा लीविंग ग्रुप होगा रिएक्टिविटी उतनी ज्यादा होगी। तो लीविंग ग्रुप जैसे RCOCl में क्लोराइड है, एनहाइड्राइड में RCO- है, और एस्टर में R-O- है, और अमाइड में NH2- है। तो अगर मैं इनकी स्टेबिलिटी कंपेयर करूं तो क्लोराइड आयन इज फाउंड टू बी द मोस्ट स्टेबल साइज फैक्टर एज कंपेयर टू ऑक्साइड, and then RCOO minus, then R-O minus, then NH2 minus. NH2 minus is most unstable, right? तो सबसे ज्यादा जो स्टेबल एनायन होगा वो सबसे अच्छा लिविंग ग्रुप होगा। एज अ रिजल्ट रिएक्टिविटी ऑफ RCOCl इज मैक्सिमम। तो आउट ऑफ ऑल डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड, RCOCl is found to be the most reactive compound towards SN2TH reaction. So ABCD decreasing order. ABCD decreasing order is going to be the correct answer of this question. The transition element that has lowest enthalpy of atomization. किस ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट का लोवेस्ट एंथैल्पी ऑफ एटमाइजेशन होगा? देखो, लोवेस्ट एंथैल्पी ऑफ एटमाइजेशन बेसिकली डिपेंड करता है कि मेटल को, यानी कि सॉलिड को, कितना आसानी से आप गैसियस फॉर्म में ले जा सकते हो, राइट? यानी उसका मेल्टिंग पॉइंट लीस्ट होना चाहिए, मेल्टिंग पॉइंट लीस्ट होना चाहिए, और मेल्टिंग पॉइंट लीस्ट होने के लिए उसका जो मेटालिक बॉन्ड है वो वीकेस्ट होना चाहिए। तो क्योंकि जिंक में D10 इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कन्फिग्रेशन होता है, इसका मेटालिक बॉन्ड वीकेस्ट होता है, इट हैज वीकेस्ट मेटालिक बॉन्डिंग, मेटालिक बॉन्डिंग। तो इसको आसानी से आप इसके एटम्स को सेपरेट कर सकते हैं, इसके सॉलिड एटम्स को लिक्विड फॉलोड बाय गैसियस एटम्स में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं। तो लीस्ट एंथैल्पी ऑफ एटमाइजेशन हो जाएगा जिंक। Liquids A and B form an ideal solution in the entire composition range at 350 Kelvin vapor pressure of pure है। P नॉट A दिया हुआ है 7000 पास्कल एंड P नॉट B दिया हुआ है 12000 पास्कल। The composition of vapor in the equilibrium with a solution containing 40 mole percent of XA given है 0.4, तो ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि XB हो जाएगा 0.6। और आपको बताना है composition of vapor phase. Composition of vapor phase can be written as partial vapor pressure of A upon total vapor pressure, which can be written as XA PA naught upon XA PA naught plus XB PB naught. All right, अब जस्ट वैल्यू रख दो। XA 0.4 है into 7000 divided by 0.4 into 7000 plus 0.6 into 12000। इसको आप कैलकुलेट कर लो। दिस विल गिव यू YA एक्चुअली 0.28 आ जाएगा, तो YB हो जाएगा 1 minus 0.28, दैट इज 0.672, 0.72। चेक कौन सा आंसर आ रहा है, 0.72। Alright, so your answer B is going to be correct. Usually जो रिप्रेजेंटेशन होता है YA YB को वेपर फेज मोल फ्रैक्शन लिखते हैं एंड XA XB को लिक्विड फेज मोल फ्रैक्शन लिखते हैं। Alright, so your answer B is the correct option. Increasing order of pKa value of the following compound. इन कंपाउंड का इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ pKa वैल्यू लिखना है, यानी इनका एसिडिक स्ट्रेंथ का ऑर्डर निकाल लेते हैं। अगर हम बात करें एसिडिक स्ट्रेंथ की, हम सबको पता है कि जो इलेक्ट्रॉन विड्रॉइंग होते हैं, अगर वो ऑर्थो एंड पैरा पोजीशन पे लगे हो तो एसिडिक स्ट्रेंथ बढ़ जाती है और इलेक्ट्रॉन रिलीजिंग ग्रुप कम कर देते हैं। तो बी इज गोइंग टू बी द मोस्ट एसिडिक। मेटा पोजीशन से केवल इंडक्टिव इफेक्ट ऑपरेटिव होता है स्टिल, क्योंकि माइनस आई इफेक्ट है इसलिए बी के बाद सी आ जाएगा एंड सी के बाद ए आ जाएगा, ए के बाद डी आ जाएगा। तो अगर अपन पी के वैल्यू देखेंगे तो बी का लीस्ट होगा, बी देन सी देन ए देन डी। Check the answer of this question, which is correct. B C A D, B C A D, B C A D, B C A D. D is the correct answer of this question. All right. Among the following, the compound which is aromatic. चार ऑप्शंस आपको दिए हुए हैं, इसमें से आपको एरोमेटिक कंपाउंड के ऑप्शंस निकालने हैं। तो एक तो बहुत क्लियरली दिख रहा है कि बेंजीन आपका एरोमेटिक कंपाउंड है एंड एक आपका ये साइक्लोपेंटा डाई इनाइल एनायन इसके अंदर भी 6 पाई इलेक्ट्रॉन है, सारे डीलोकलाइज्ड फॉर्म में है। ये नहीं होगा, ये नॉन एरोमेटिक होगा, क्रॉस कॉन्जुगेटेड है, क्लोज लूप नहीं बनेगी। ये एंटी एरोमेटिक है, एक्चुअली इसके अंदर 4 पाई इलेक्ट्रॉन्स ही अवेलेबल है। सो बी एंड सी आर एरोमेटिक, सो बी इज गोइंग टू बी द राइट आंसर ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। द सेट इन विच कंपाउंड हैव डिफरेंट नेचर, आपको इन चारों ऑप्शंस में से ऐसे कंपाउंड के पेयर निकालने हैं जिनका नेचर अलग होता है। देखो ये एसिड है, ये एसिड है, तो ये दोनों का नेचर सिमिलर है। ये एसिडिक है और ये एम्फोटेरिक होता है, राइट। एम्फोटेरिक नेचर, एक्चुअली एल्यूमिनियम हाइड्रोक्साइड के अंदर एम्फोटेरिक नेचर होता है, तो इसलिए आंसर आपका हो गया बी। ये बेसिक है, ये भी बेसिक है, ये एम्फोटेरिक है, ये एम्फोटेरिक होता है और ये भी एम्फोटेरिक होता है नेचर में, राइट। तो जो डिफरेंट नेचर का कंपाउंड का पेयर हुआ वो बी ऑप्शन में ही अवेलेबल है, इसलिए बी ऑप्शन आपका करेक्ट आंसर हो गया। In this question, there are two organic reactions of the same reactant is given. एक है आपका केमिनोफोर in presence of heat and acidic conditions, और एक है आपका केमिनोफोर at 0 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड cold conditions. ये बेयर्स रिएजेंट है, आपको पता है बेयर्स रिएजेंट जो होता है वो अनसैचुरेशन टेस्ट में काम आता है, और यहाँ पे जो कंपाउंड एक्चुअली बनता है वो सिन हाइड्रोक्सिलेशन प्रोडक्ट बनता है OH। और अगर हम ऑक्सीडेटिव क्लीवेज करेंगे हॉट कंडीशंस में तो ये एक्चुअली डाई कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा, जो आपका फर्स्ट रिएक्शन है, समथिंग लाइक दिस, ये कंपाउंड बनेगा एडिपिक एसिड एक्चुअली, राइट। तो कंपाउंड ए आपका डाई कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड है एंड कंपाउंड बी डायॉल है। तो कौन सा ऑप्शन इज गोइंग टू बी करेक्ट वन? कंपाउंड ए इज अ डायॉल, नो, कंपाउंड ए इज अ डाई कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड एंड कंपाउंड बी इज अ डायॉल। दोनों सेम तो होंगे नहीं, तो ए और बी तो वैसे ही अलग हो गया, और सी और डी में ए डाई कार्बोक्सिलिक एसिड है और बी आपका डायॉल है। तो इसमें दो रिएक्शंस यूज हो गई हैं, एक ऑक्सीडेटिव क्लीवेज ऑफ एल्कीन और एक सिन हाइड्रोक्सिलेशन ऑफ एल्कीन, जिसके अंदर अनसैचुरेशन टेस्ट का भी कंसेप्ट आ गया। ऑलराइट, सो डी इज द राइट आंसर। थर्मोकेमिस्ट्री की दो रिएक्शंस गिवन है, पहला है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फॉर्मेशन, दूसरा है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड फॉर्मेशन अगेन फ्रॉम ग्रेफाइट, और आपको ये टारगेट रिएक्शन का इंथैल्पी निकालना है। ऑलराइट, तो ठीक है, इस टारगेट रिएक्शन को लाने के लिए मुझे सेकेंड रिएक्शन को एज इट इज यूज करना होगा, और फर्स्ट रिएक्शन को मुझे ग्रेफाइट लेफ्ट में लाना है, राइट में सीओ लाना है। तो फर्स्ट रिएक्शन को उल्टा करेंगे लेकिन साथ में 2 से डिवाइड भी करेंगे। लाइक अगर मैं 2 से डिवाइड कर दूं तो फर्स्ट रिएक्शन आपकी हो जाएगी CO2 चेंजिंग इनटू CO प्लस हाफ O2, राइट। और इसको अगर मैं सेकेंड रिएक्शन में ऐड कर दूं C ग्रेफाइट प्लस O2 गैस चेंजिंग इनटू CO2 गैस, राइट। तो ये CO2 कैंसिल हो गया, C ग्रेफाइट प्लस हाफ O2 चेंजिंग इनटू CO, ये रिएक्शन आ गई। ऑलराइट, तो डेल्टा H ऑफ दिस रिएक्शन इज इक्वल टू माइनस डेल्टा H1/2, फर्स्ट रिएक्शन का डेल्टा H1 मान लिया, दिया हुआ एक्चुअली, और ऐड किया है तो प्लस डेल्टा H2। तो डेल्टा H1 हो गया आपका x/2, माइनस साइन भी ले लिया मैंने, इनकॉर्पोरेट कर लिया, और डेल्टा H2 है -y, तो x minus 2y/2, x minus 2y/2, D is going to be the right answer of this question. All right. If shortest wavelength in Lyman series of hydrogen spectrum, hydrogen atom is A, then the longest wavelength in Paston series. All right. Lyman series के लिए N1 की वैल्यू 1 होती है और N2 की वैल्यू 2 3 एच ऑन इन्फिनिटी तक। अभी बोल रहे हैं शॉर्टेस्ट वेवलेंथ, इसका मतलब एनर्जी डिफरेंस हाईएस्ट होना चाहिए, तो 1 टू इन्फिनिटी हो गया। तो 1 अपॉन लैम्डा इज इक्वल टू आर जेड स्क्वायर, जेड 1 है, 1 अपॉन 1 स्क्वायर माइनस 1 अपॉन इन्फिनिटी। ऑलराइट, और लैम्डा की वैल्यू ए दी हुई है, तो 1 अपॉन ए इज इक्वल टू आर, तो आर का वैल्यू 1 अपॉन ए आ गया, एक बात हो गई। अभी बोला है कि लॉन्गेस्ट वेवलेंथ इन पास्टन सीरीज ऑफ हीलियम आयन, तो पास्टन सीरीज के लिए N1 की वैल्यू हो गई 3 और N2 की वैल्यू हो जाएगी 4 5 एच ऑन, और इन्होंने बोला है लॉन्गेस्ट वेवलेंथ के लिए एनर्जी डिफरेंस लीस्ट होना चाहिए 3 to 4, तो 1 अपॉन लैम्डा डैश इज इक्वल टू आर जेड स्क्वायर, जेड इस बार 2 होगा, हीलियम आयन है, 1 अपॉन 3 स्क्वायर माइनस 1 अपॉन 4 स्क्वायर। आर का वैल्यू हम लोग निकाल चुके हैं 1 अपॉन ए, इंटू 4, तो 16 माइनस 9 अपॉन 16 इंटू 9। ऑलराइट, तो ये हो जाएगा आपका 9 अपॉन 36 ए। ये हुआ 1 अपॉन लैम्डा डैश। सो लैम्डा डैश इज इक्वल टू 36 अपॉन 9 इंटू ए। 36 a upon 7. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 7 actually, not 9. 36 upon 7. All right. So this is going to be your correct answer of this question. All right, D is the right option. तो ये बेसिकली हाइड्रोजन स्पेक्ट्रम का क्वेश्चन है। शॉर्टेस्ट वेवलेंथ के लिए एनर्जी डिफरेंस लार्ज होना चाहिए एंड लॉन्गेस्ट वेवलेंथ के लिए एनर्जी डिफरेंस शॉर्ट होना चाहिए। उस कहानी पे, उस कंसेप्ट पे बेस्ड है ये क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, carbylamine test is used to detect the presence of primary amino group in the organic compounds. Which of the following compound is formed when test is performed with aniline? Actually ये एक बहुत कॉमन रिएक्शन है। RNH2 का रिएक्शन जब हम कराते हैं ना CHCl3 प्लस NaOH से, तो RNC बनता है विच इज द फाउल स्मेलिंग कंपाउंड। ये कार्बिन मैकेनिज्म है बेसिकली। यहाँ से CHCl3 और NaOH का रिएक्शन से कार्बिन फॉर्म होगा जो RNH2 पे अटैक करेगा, फॉलोड बाय फर्दर रिएक्शन टू फॉर्म RNC। तो ये होता है फाउल स्मेलिंग और बैड स्मेलिंग कंपाउंड। ये एलिफेटिक और एरोमेटिक दोनों ये टेस्ट देते हैं, राइट। तो जब आप एनिलीन ले लोगे C6H5NH2, तो जो आपको कंपाउंड मिलेगा वो होगा C6H5NC, राइट, फिनाइल आइसोसाइनाइड। तो आइसोसाइनाइड रिएक्शन या कार्बिलामिन रिएक्शन के नाम से इसको जानते हैं। इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टेस्ट ऑफ प्राइमरी अमीन एक्चुअली। ऑलराइट, assuming 2s2p mixing is not operative, the paramagnetic species among the following is। 2s2p mixing अगर ऑपरेटिव नहीं हो तो आपका जो एमओ डायग्राम होता है, मॉलिक्यूलर ऑर्बिटल सीक्वेंस जो होती है, वो ऑक्सीजन वाली सीक्वेंस आती है अगर 2s and 2p मिक्सिंग नहीं हो। और ऑक्सीजन वाली सीक्वेंस जब आप करेंगे तो कुछ इस तरह से आएगा। देखो ये 1s एंटी बॉन्डिंग, 2s एंटी बॉन्डिंग, देन सिग्मा 2pz, then pi 2py, pi 2px, and then pi anti-bonding 2py, pi anti-bonding 2px, and then आपका सिग्मा anti-bonding 2pz, ये सीक्वेंस रहती है। तो जैसे बेरिलियम है, बेरिलियम में तो टोटल 8 ही इलेक्ट्रॉन है, और 8 इलेक्ट्रॉन अगर होंगे तो यहीं पे सीक्वेंस खत्म हो जाएगी, तो ये डायमैग्नेटिक हो गया। बोरॉन 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है, तो जो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन आपके आए वो यहाँ पे आ जाएंगे सिग्मा 2pz में, राइट, तो ये भी डायमैग्नेटिक हो गया। C2 की बात करेंगे तो 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ पे, 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 तो यहाँ तक हो गया आपके टोटल कितने, 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन। अब आपके पास 2 इलेक्ट्रॉन बचे, तो आप पाई 2py1, पाई 2pz, पाई 2px1, तो ये एक्चुअली अभी 10 के 10 इलेक्ट्रॉन हमने, 12 के 12 इलेक्ट्रॉन हमने भर दिए। अभी एक एक इलेक्ट्रॉन अनपेयर्ड यहाँ मौजूद है, इसलिए ये पैरामैग्नेटिक हो गया। नाइट्रोजन क्योंकि 14 होता है, तो 14 में एक्चुअली ये इलेक्ट्रॉन पेयर्ड अप हो जाएंगे, तो डायमैग्नेटिक हो जाएगा अगेन। सो कार्बन इज गोइंग टू बी पैरामैग्नेटिक अगर हम 2s2p मिक्सिंग को कंसिडर नहीं करते हैं तो। ऑलराइट, सो करेक्ट आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी सी। Which of the following is correct order with respect to property mentioned against each? क्लोरीन, ब्रोमीन, आयोडीन का वाटर सॉल्युबिलिटी किस ऑर्डर में होगा, जस्टिफाई करना है। लाइक क्लोरीन का या किसी भी हाइड्रोजन का पानी से रिएक्शन होता है तो ये यूजुअली HX प्लस HOX बनता है। लाइक क्लोरीन के केस में HCl प्लस HOCl बनेगा। तो बिकॉज ऑफ हैविंग स्मॉलर साइज, क्लोरीन वाटर इंटरेक्शन इज मोर, आई मीन स्ट्रॉन्गर एज कंपेयर टू ब्रोमीन एंड आयोडीन। सो क्लोरीन इज मोर सॉल्युबल इन वाटर एज कंपेयर टू ब्रोमीन एंड आयोडीन। तो वाटर सॉल्युबिलिटी पानी में घटती है क्लोरीन से लेकर आयोडीन तक। अगर हम बात करें एसिडिक कैरेक्टर ऑफ ऑक्सी एसिड ऑफ हैलोजन, लाइक HOCl, आई मीन HClO4 का स्ट्रक्चर देखो ऐसा होता है, एक प्रोटॉन निकाल दोगे तो ऐसा एनायन बनेगा। HClO3 में ऐसा एनायन बनेगा, HClO2 में ऐसा एनायन बनेगा, एंड OCl में ऐसा बनेगा, HOCl में। तो इन सब से एक एक प्रोटॉन निकाल दिया। नाउ यू कैन चेक देयर आर 4 इक्विवेलेंट बॉन्ड, तो 3 मोर इक्विवेलेंट रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर कैन बी ड्रॉन। तो जो नेगेटिव चार्ज है वो 4 ऑक्सीजन पे इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड है, मैक्सिमम डीलोकलाइजेशन है, मोस्ट स्टेबल हो गया। और अगर प्रोटॉन निकालने के बाद कोई भी एनायन ज्यादा स्टेबल हो जाए तो प्रोटॉन देने की टेंडेंसी सबसे ज्यादा होती है, राइट। तो HClO4 सबसे ज्यादा एसिडिक हो गया। यहाँ 3 इक्विवेलेंट रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर, यहाँ पे 2 इक्विवेलेंट रेजोनेटिंग स्ट्रक्चर, और यहाँ पे नो रेजोनेंस। तो सबसे ज्यादा डीलोकलाइजेशन ClO4 माइनस में होगा नेगेटिव चार्ज का, और सबसे कम होगा OCl माइनस में। ऑलराइट, तो ये सबसे ज्यादा एसिडिक हो गया। अगर प्रोटॉन देने के बाद एनायन का स्टेबिलिटी ज्यादा है तो दैट प्रोटॉन डोनेशन की टेंडेंसी अधिक होगी, लिहाजा एसिडिक स्ट्रेंथ भी अधिक होगी। यहाँ पे क्लोरीन का ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर अगर आप निकालोगे तो यहाँ +7 है, यहाँ +5 है, यहाँ +3 है, यहाँ +2 है, राइट। तो जितना ज्यादा सेंट्रल एटम पे ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर होगा उसकी ऑक्सीडाइजिंग पावर उतनी ज्यादा होगी, राइट, डायरेक्टली प्रोपोर्शनल टू ऑक्सीडेशन नंबर ऑफ सेंट्रल एलिमेंट। तो सी भी एक करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट है, दैट मीन्स आपका ऑप्शन डी होगा करेक्ट ऑप्शन ऑफ दिस क्वेश्चन। ऑलराइट, तो इसका आंसर हो गया डी। ठीक है। If IPAC name of an element is anium, then correct statement regarding this particular element is, देखिए अन होता है 1, ये भी होता है 1, ये भी हो गया 1, तो इसका Z हो गया 111। ऑलराइट, now if you write the electronic configuration of this particular element of atomic number 111, it will comes out to be electronic configuration is Rn 5F14 6D10 7S1। ऑलराइट, सो इसका जो पीरियड है वो हो गया, पीरियड इज 7, ग्रुप इज 11, 10 + 1 11, एंड इट्स अ डी ब्लॉक एलिमेंट। ऑलराइट, so first option is wrong. It is not an inner transition element. It is not belonging to 8th period. It is a d block element, and therefore your correct answer is C. All right. Which isomerism is exhibited by this complex CONH3 whole 4 Br2Cl? This is a complex of MA4B2. All right. एंड क्योंकि क्लोरीन क्लोराइड एंड ब्रोमाइड कैन बी इंटरचेंज, सो आयनाइजेशन आइसोमेरिज्म तो है ही इसमें, स्ट्रक्चरल आइसोमेरिज्म के नाम पे आयनाइजेशन आइसोमेरिज्म तो होगी ही। एंड MA4B2 का अगर मैं ज्योमेट्रिकल आइसोमेरिज्म बनाता हूँ तो BB cis एंड BB trans कैन बी ड्रॉन, सो ज्योमेट्रिकल आइसोमेरिज्म विल डेफिनेटली एग्जिस्ट इन दिस कंपाउंड। ये BB cis हो गया, बाकी सब जगह A लिख दिया, एंड ये ट्रांस हो गया। ऑलराइट, तो ज्योमेट्रिकल एंड आयनाइजेशन बोथ आइसोमेरिज्म एक्चुअली एग्जिस्ट, एंड क्योंकि इसमें प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री एग्जिस्ट करेगा इसलिए दिस कंपाउंड कैन नॉट एग्जिस्ट इन ऑप्टिकल आइसोमेरिज्म, राइट। और वैसे भी आपका जो मोस्ट सुटेबल ऑप्शन है वो हो गया ए, ज्योमेट्रिकल एंड आयनाइजेशन। तो ऑप्टिकल हमने चेक नहीं किया, बट इफ यू वांट टू चेक यू कैन चेक बोथ द कंपाउंड्स हैव प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री, इसलिए इसमें ऑप्टिकल आइसोमेरिज्म नहीं होगा। yes there is an option called optical and ionization also, तो आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा कि ऑप्टिकल है या नहीं है। तो दोनों में प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री होगा। इसमें तो आप देख सकते हो इसमें प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री विल बी सेम एज स्क्वायर का प्लेन, एंड इस कंपाउंड के अंदर इफ यू वांट टू ड्रॉ प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री, ये वाला स्क्वायर बना लो, देखो ये वाला स्क्वायर, दिस विल बी ए प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री, राइट। तो दोनों में प्लेन ऑफ सिमेट्री एग्जिस्ट करेगा, तो ऑप्टिकल आइसोमेरिज्म नहीं है। सो योर आंसर ए इज गोइंग टू बी द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। ऑलराइट, E1 is the standard electrode potential of Fe2 plus, Fe changing into Fe2 plus 2 electron, इसका E1 नॉट रख दिया, and Fe2 plus changing into Fe3 plus 1 electron, इसका E2 नॉट। और हमें पता करना है E3 नॉट फॉर Fe3 प्लस, तो इनका आपस में रिलेशनशिप क्या होगा, यानी Fe चेंजिंग इनटू Fe3 प्लस 3 इलेक्ट्रॉन, इसका E कितना होगा। इसका E3 दिया हुआ है, तो E3 कैसे कनेक्टेड होगा E1 एंड E2 से। देखिए बेस्ड ऑन डेल्टा G free energy of each half cell reaction, if I add these two reaction I will get this reaction। तो मैं यहाँ से डेल्टा G3 नॉट को लिख सकता हूँ डेल्टा G1 नॉट प्लस डेल्टा G2 नॉट। ऑलराइट, अगर मैं यहाँ पे नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन N1 ले लेता हूँ, यहाँ N2 ले लेता हूँ, और ये आपका N1 प्लस N2 हो गया, राइट। तो -N1 प्लस N2 इंटू F इंटू E3 नॉट कैन बी रिटन एज -N1 इंटू F इंटू E1 नॉट माइनस N2 इंटू F इंटू E2 नॉट। Since electrode potential is not a thermodynamic property, it cannot be added, subtracted by addition of reactions. But we can convert electrode potential into corresponding thermodynamic property delta G. यहाँ से आपको E3 नॉट मिलेगा N1 E1 नॉट प्लस N2 E2 नॉट डिवाइडेड बाय N1 प्लस N2. अब आप N1 N2 की वैल्यू रख दो. सो N1 है वो 2 E1 नॉट प्लस E2 नॉट डिवाइडेड बाय 3. So check what is the answer. 2 E1 naught plus E2 naught upon 3 is equal to this. So D is going to be the right answer of this particular question. Okay. तो अगर दो ऑक्सीडेशन या दो एडिशन रिएक्शंस को ऐड करते हैं तो यू कैन डायरेक्टली अप्लाई दिस फार्मूला E net is equal to N1 E1 plus N2 E2 upon N1 plus N2 if the two reactions are added. For that, the two reactions should be either oxidation reactions or reduction reactions. All right. हाउ मेनी ऑफ द फॉलोइंग ग्रेनाट रिएजेंट्स आर कंज्यूम्ड इन द गिवन कंपाउंड. इस कंपाउंड के अंदर कितना मोल ग्रेनाट रिएजेंट कंज्यूम होगा पर मोल ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर कंपाउंड. देखो ग्रेनाट रिएजेंट का रोल दो तरीके से हो सकता है, एज अ न्यूक्लियोफाइल और एज अ बेस, स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस. जब वो एसिड डेरिवेटिव से रिएक्ट करता है, जैसे मान लो आपने ले लिया RCOOR डैश, यहाँ पे R डबल डैश MgX का रिएक्शन कराओगे तो पहले ये कीटोन में कन्वर्ट होगा, फिर ये एल्कोहल में कन्वर्ट होगा, O माइनस R डबल डैश R डबल डैश. तो एस्टर हो गया, एसिड हैलाइड हो गया या एनहाइड्राइड हो गया, इन सभी में मिनिमम 2 मोल ग्रेनाट रिएजेंट जाएगा. ओके. तो ये आपका एस्टर है, 2 मोल खाएगा. ये आपका एल्डिहाइड है, ये 1 मोल खाएगा. RCHO का रिएक्शन जब आप RMgX से करते हो ना या R डैश MgX से, तो ये एल्कोहल में कन्वर्ट होगा. ऐसे देखिए, बाद में आप वाटर का एडिशन करा के ROH R डैश ये बना सकते हो. तो ये 1 मोल खाएगा. एक न्यूक्लियोफिलिक सब्स्टिट्यूशन यहाँ भी हो सकता है एपॉक्सी कंपाउंड में, तो ये 1 मोल खाएगा. ये एसिडिक हाइड्रोजन है, इसको 1 मोल चाहिए. ये एसिडिक हाइड्रोजन है, इसको भी 1 मोल चाहिए. एक्चुअली R माइनस किसी भी एसिडिक हाइड्रोजन कंटेनिंग कंपाउंड से रिएक्ट करके कुछ हाइड्रोकार्बन में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है, राइट. ऐसा. तो टोटल मोल कितने हो गए? 2 3 4 5 6. तो पर मोल ऑफ दिस पर्टिकुलर कंपाउंड 6 मोल ऑफ ग्रेनाट रिएजेंट्स आर नीडेड टू कंप्लीट द रिएक्शन. ऑलराइट, इट्स अ गुड क्वेश्चन. तो यहाँ आपको पता होना चाहिए कि ग्रेनाट रिएजेंट का रिएक्शन एसिड डेरिवेटिव से कैसे होता है, एल्डिहाइड और कीटोन से कैसे होता है. ओके. 250 ml of 0.5 molar NaOH are added to 500 ml 1 molar HCl. Number of unreacted HCl molecules in the solution after complete reaction is. यानी आपको निकालना है टोटल कितने मॉलिक्यूल HCl बच गए आफ्टर कंप्लीट रिएक्शन. ठीक है. HCl और NaOH का जब रिएक्शन होगा तो कुछ ऐसे रिएक्शन होगा, NaCl प्लस वाटर. दैट मीन्स जितने मोल्स या मिली मोल्स HCl ऐड करोगे उतने मोल NaOH यूज हो जाएगा. ऑलराइट. तो मोल ऑफ HCl यूज्ड बाय NaOH कितना हो गया? मोल ऑफ NaOH itself, मोल ऑफ NaOH दैट इज 0.25. ये वॉल्यूम है इनटू 0.5. ये कितना होगा? 0.125 मोल. ऑलराइट. एंड इनिशियल मोल हमारे पास HCl के कितने हैं? इनिशियल मोल ऑफ HCl इज इक्वल टू 0.5 इंटू 1, 0.5. तो मोल ऑफ HCl लेफ्ट कितने हो गए? 0.5 माइनस 0.125 दैट इज 0.375. ऑलराइट. ये तो हुए मोल. तो मॉलिक्यूल्स कितने हो जाएंगे? मोल multiplied by Avogadro number 6 into 10 power 23. This comes out to be roughly 225 into 10 raised to the power 21. तो आपको आंसर इस फॉर्मेट में देना है, समथिंग इंटू 10 पावर 21. तो जो वैल्यू यहाँ फिल करनी है वो 225 हो गई. ऑलराइट. तो सिंपल अरिथमेटिक बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. इसमें केमिस्ट्री तो कम ही लगता है, खाली रिएजेंट के बारे में, मोलैरिटी एंड वॉल्यूम को किस तरह से ट्रीट करते हैं उसके बारे में ही केमिस्ट्री लग रही है, बाकी तो मैथमेटिक्स है. ऑलराइट. इन हाउ मेनी स्पीसीज पॉजिटिव चार्ज इज डीलोकलाइज्ड. ये कुछ आयन दिए हुए हैं, आपको बताना है किस में पॉजिटिव चार्ज डीलोकलाइज्ड है. देखो फर्स्ट में जो पॉजिटिव चार्ज है वो sp2 हाइब्रिड ऑर्बिटल में प्रेजेंट है, डीलोकलाइज नहीं होगा. सेकेंड में डीलोकलाइज हो सकता है, देखिए इस तरह से डीलोकलाइजेशन होगा पाई बॉन्ड के साथ. आई कैन ड्रॉ दिस लाइक दिस ऑल्सो. प्लस चार्ज कार्बन पे भी जा सकता है ऑक्सीजन पे भी जा सकता है, तो एक आंसर तो ये आएगा। एंड थर्ड की बात करें, थर्ड में डिलोकलाइजेशन पॉसिबल नहीं है, अगेन प्लस चार्जेस प्रेजेंट आउट ऑफ द प्लेन ऑफ पाई बॉन्ड। फोर्थ में पॉसिबल है डिलोकलाइजेशन, यू कैन डू इट लाइक दिस, कार्बन पे शिफ्ट हो जाएगा नाइट्रोजन का प्लस चार्ज। यहाँ पे पॉसिबल नहीं है बिकॉज नाइट्रोजन कैन नॉट हैव अ पेंटावेलेंट नेचर, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता। अगर आपने डिलोकलाइजेशन किया तो नाइट्रोजन की पेंटावैलेंसी हो जाएगी, दिस इज नॉट पॉसिबल, राइट। तो यहाँ भी नहीं है और यहाँ भी नहीं है। तो कुल मिला के मेरे पास सिर्फ दो ही ऐसे एग्जाम्पल है जहाँ पे पॉजिटिव चार्ज कंप्लीटली डिलोकलाइज्ड हो रहा है। सो योर आंसर इज गोइंग टू बी 2। ओके, in an oligopeptide named alanyl glycyl phenyl anylyl isoleucine, टोटल 4 अमीनो एसिड यहाँ पे दिए हुए हैं। तो आपको पता है जब 4 अमीनो एसिड बनेंगे तो इनके जो पेप्टाइड लिंकेज फॉर्म होंगे ना, इस तरह से CONH 3 पेप्टाइड लिंकेज फॉर्म होंगे और एक आइसोल्यूसिन का जो COOH ग्रुप है वो एंड पे रहेगा, राइट। तो तीन तो आपके ये वाले कार्बन हो गए जो sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड रहेंगे, तीन एसिड के बीच में देखो, एनालाइल वाला पार्ट, ग्लाइसाइल वाला पार्ट, फिनाइल एलाइल वाला पार्ट, राइट। एक इनके बीच में CONH ग्रुप होगा, एक इनके बीच में CONH ग्रुप होगा, एक इनके बीच में भी CONH ग्रुप होगा, और ये जो आइसोल्यूसिन है उसका जो COOH एंड है वो लास्ट में रहेगा, राइट। तो तीन तो CONH वाले कार्बन हो गए जो sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड है, एक ये वाला कार्बन हो गया जो sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड है। तो 4 कार्बन तो ये हो गए जो पेप्टाइड लिंकेज COOH की वजह से आता है। और इसमें एक फिनाइल एलानिल भी है। तो फिनाइल एनालाइल के अंदर भी एक बेंजीन रिंग होगा जहां पे 6 कार्बन sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड होंगे। तो 6 और 4 टोटल 10 कार्बन sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज्ड हो जाएंगे। ये तो बात हो गई तब जब आपको स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रॉपर्ली नहीं ड्रॉ करना है, कम टाइम लगाना चाहते हो, फटाफट कर लेना चाहते हो। लेकिन अगर कभी स्ट्रक्चर से रिलेटेड भी कोई बात पूछ ले तो देखो ये है चारों अमीनो एसिड, ये आपका एलानिन हो गया, ये वाला पोर्शन, ये आपका ग्लाइसिन वाला पोर्शन हो गया, ये आपका फिनाइल एनाइल वाला पोर्शन हो गया, और ये आपका आइसोल्यूसिन वाला पोर्शन हो गया। ये एलानिन, ये आपका ग्लाइसिन वाला पार्ट, ये आपका फिनाइल एलानिन वाला पार्ट, और ये आइसोल्यूसिन वाला पार्ट, ठीक। तो अब यहां से आप काउंट करो, एक कार्बन ये हो गया, दूसरा कार्बन, तीसरा कार्बन, चौथा कार्बन और 6 कार्बन इसके अंदर। तो टोटल 10 कार्बन ऐसे हो गए जो sp2 हाइब्रिडाइज है इस पूरे ओलिगोपेप्टाइड के अंदर। ऑलराइट, sucrose hydrolyzes in acidic solution into glucose and fructose following first order rate law. Half life is given, total time is given, fraction of sucrose remaining is f after time t, और आपको log 1/f निकालना है। ओके, फाइन। तो सबसे पहले हम लोग टोटल टाइम, टोटल हाफ लाइफ निकाल लेते हैं। टोटल नंबर ऑफ हाफ लाइफ इन द गिवन टाइम, टोटल नंबर ऑफ हाफ लाइफ in the given time is equal to total time divided by half life 3.33. This comes out to be 2.7. All right, now we can use this equation, C final is equal to C initial half raised to the power n. So C final upon C initial is equal to 1 upon 2 raised to the power 2.7, 1 upon 2 raised to the power 2.7. all right, तो ये आपका Cn upon C naught दिया हुआ है, and you need to calculate fraction of sucrose remaining is f. ओके, तो log 1/f निकालना है, तो दिस इज एक्चुअली f। तो 1/f इज गोइंग टू बी 2.2 रेज टू द पावर 2.7। तो log 1/f इज इक्वल टू log 2 raised to the power 2.7, right? This comes out to be 2.7 log 2. 2.7 log 2 is 0.301. 0.301. All right. Putting this value, I can roughly get this is going to be 0.81. So I can express this in the form of 81 into 10 raised to the power minus 2. So you have to write 81 as the answer of this particular question. All right. So simply it is based on first order kinetics, which has to be solved by using this particular equation, that final concentration of a reactant after nth half life is equal to C naught half raised to the power n. Okay.
Hi everyone, I am Firoz Khan, Master Teacher of Mathematics here at Vedantu. So in this video, we are going to discuss the mathematics paper which was conducted very recently, right? So here is the question on your screen, and this question is from vectors. And as you can see, two vectors are given to you here, P and Q are the two vectors. And we have a third vector R which is perpendicular to both the vectors P plus Q and P minus Q. One more thing is given here, mod R is root 3. So what will be alpha plus mod beta plus mod gamma? R is actually alpha I plus beta j plus gamma k. So let's find the vectors P plus Q and P minus Q first. And since R is perpendicular to both P plus Q and P minus Q, so basically R will be in the direction of cross product of these two vectors P plus Q and P minus Q. So what I'm doing here is straight away, I'm taking the cross product of P plus Q and P minus Q. Cross product of P plus Q and P minus Q. Cross product will be taken using determinant, so I, J, K. Now let's write P plus Q vector. So P plus Q is 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. And then 1 plus 1, 2. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. 1 plus 1, 2. Now P minus Q. 2 minus 1, 1. 3 minus 2, 1. 1 minus 1, 0. 2 minus 1, 3 minus 2, 1. Now let's expand it. So when you expand it, you are getting 0 minus 2, means minus 2i. 0 minus 2. Then with j you are getting 0 again and minus 2 again, so minus 2k. In fact, it will be plus 2k, plus 2j, sorry. And then with k you will get 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5 is minus 2k. So basically this is minus 2 times I minus j plus k. So this is the vector in the direction of vector r, but they have given that length of r is root 3. Length of r is root 3. So what will be actually r cap? R cap, just make it a unit vector. So r cap will be minus 2 times minus I minus j plus k divided by under root a square plus b square, so root 3. Now they have given that mod r is root 3. So basically r will be what? Lambda times r cap. Lambda times r cap. So I can take r vector as lambda times I minus j plus k. You can take this r vector like this, lambda times I minus j plus k. Now mod r is root 3. So this gives you mod lambda is equal to, mod lambda will be under root 1 plus 1 plus 1. Can I take r like this? Lambda times I minus, yes, I can take like this. So mod r is root 3. So yes, it is. Mod lambda is 1. Mod lambda is 1. So I can say that the lambda will be plus minus 1. Lambda will be plus minus 1. So hence vector r is basically plus minus I minus j plus k. So hence mod alpha plus mod beta plus mod gamma. Alpha is basically coefficient of I, beta is coefficient of j, gamma is coefficient of k. So it is 1 plus 1 plus 1. Means it is 3 only. 3 is the correct answer here, right? Okay, see this question. This question is based on matrices, permutations, combinations, and a little bit of function. So matrix A is given, A, B, C, D, second order matrix, and each element is taken from this set. Means for each element you have possibilities plus minus 3, plus minus 2, plus minus 1, and 0. And a function is defined from this set M to the set Z such that Fa denotes determinant of A. So if Fa is 15, so then find the number of matrices A. Basically what they are saying, fa is what? Determinant of a. So fa is 15 means the determinant of a is 15. And then they are asking how many matrices will satisfy this condition, determinant of a is equal to 15. So you have to simply find how many matrices are there whose determinant is 15. Now determinant of a is what? Determinant of a is AD minus BC. So AD minus BC should be 15. And each of the elements A, B, C, D are taken from this set. So what are the possibilities? How can the difference means the determinant can be 15? So first possibility is if AD is 9 and BC is minus 6. So then difference will be 15. AD is 9. So hence A comma D will be what? A comma D will be 4 possibilities. A comma D will be plus minus 3. In fact, AD is 9. So in fact, 2 possibilities only, 3 comma 3 and minus 3 comma 3. So AD will be either 3 comma 3 or minus 3 comma minus 3. So 2 possibilities for AD. And BC is minus 6. So minus 6 means it can be 2 comma minus 3, minus 2 comma 3, 3 comma minus 2, or minus 3 comma 2. So 4 possibilities for B. So hence AD can be selected in 2 ways, BC can be selected in 4 ways. So hence AD minus BC can be 15 in 8 ways. The total number of ways here 2 into 4. For AD we have 2 options. For BC we have 4 options. So hence AD minus BC can be 15 in 8 ways. So there are 8 matrices for which AD minus BC is 15 in this case. Now second case, how can we form 15? One more possibility is there. Just reverse the result. Let's say AD is 6 and BD is minus 9. AD is 6, BC is minus 9. So now what will be AD? AD is 6 means 4 possibilities, 2 comma 3, 3 comma 2, minus 2 comma minus 3, minus 3 comma minus 2. 4 possibilities here. And BC is minus 9. So 2 possibilities, 3 comma minus 3 or minus 3 comma 3. So again we got 4 into 2 means 8 matrices. The total number of matrices you can form here such that determinant is 515. Total number of matrices is 8 plus 8 means 16 matrices are there. And in fact there is no other possibility for AD minus BC is equal to 15. See, AD can be maximum 9, BC can be minimum minus 9. So AD minus BC is equal to 15. You have only 2 possibilities, 9 minus 6 or 6 minus 9. So hence the correct answer for this question is 16, right? See this question, this is from trigonometry. You are given sine square 10 degrees, sine 20 degrees, sine 40 degrees, sine 50 degrees, sine 70 degree. It is alpha minus 1 by 16 sine 10 degree. So what will be 16 plus 1 over alpha? Now let's see this expression on the left hand side. This expression on the left hand side, I can write sine 10. Sine 50 can be written as 60 minus 10. Sine 70 can be written as sine 60 plus 10. Why I am writing like this? Because I know a formula. Sine theta, sine 60 minus theta, sine 60 plus theta becomes 1 by 4 sine 3 theta. So this one will become 1 by 4 sine 30 degree. Now I'm left with sine 10 because it was sine square 10 in the question. One sine 10 is already taken here. So I'm left with one more sine 10. Then sine 20, sine 40. Now sine 20, sine 40 I'm writing as half 2 sine 20, sine 40. 2 sine 40, sine 20. Now use the formula sine theta, sine 60 minus theta, sine 60 plus theta. That becomes 1 by 4 sine 3 theta. Theta is 10, so 3 theta is 30. Then I have here half sine 10 and 2 sine A sine B, 2 sine 40 sine 20. 2 sine A sine B is cos of A minus B, which is cos 20. minus cos of a plus b, which is cos 60. So now it is 1 by, see, sin 30 is also half. So 1 by 16 here. Now multiply, you will get cos 20 sin 10. And cos 60 is half. So half sin 10. Cos 20 sin 10 minus half sin 10. Now again use 2 cos a sin b formula here. So let's multiply with 2 here. 2 here. 2 here. So since you have multiplied by 2 inside the bracket, the outside the bracket you will take half. So now it is 1 by 32. 2 cos a sin b. 2 cos a sin b is what? Sin of a plus b, which is sin 30. Minus sin of a minus b, which is sin 10. And we have one more sin 10. So now it is what? Sin 30 is half. So it is 1 by 64 minus 2 sin 10. So 1 by 16 sin 10. And now if I compare it with the right hand side, so I can see that in place of this alpha, I'm getting 1 by 64. So alpha is 1 by 64. Now what they are asking 16 plus alpha raised to minus 1 means 1 by alpha. So it is 16 plus 64 means 80. So for this question, 80 is the correct answer, right? See this question. This is from coordinate geometry. Tan alpha, tan beta, and tan gamma are the slopes of the line segments OA, OB, OC. O is the origin. Circumcenter of this triangle ABC coincide with the origin, and orthocenter lies on y-axis. Then what will be cos 3 alpha plus cos 3 beta plus cos 3 gamma over cos alpha cos beta cos gamma whole square. To see circumcenter of triangle ABC is at the origin. So you can say that the vertices ABC of the triangle are equidistant from the origin. Let's say the vertices ABC are at a distance of r unit from the origin. So I can say that the vertices ABC lie on a circle with center at origin, radius r. So I can say that I have a triangle here ABC. Since the circumcenter of the triangle is at the origin, so the vertices are equidistant from the origin. Let's say the vertices are at a distance of r unit from the origin. That means these vertices ABC lie on a circle with center at origin, radius r. And they have given that slope of OA, OB, OC are tan alpha, tan beta, tan gamma. So I can take this A point as r cos alpha, r sin alpha. You can see that if I find the slope of OA, so this will be tan alpha. Similarly, if I can take the point B is as r cos beta, r sin beta. And I can take this point C as r cos gamma, r sin gamma. Now the circumcenter of this triangle is at the origin, and the orthocenter lies on the y-axis. They have given here the orthocenter lies on the y-axis. So now you can say that the circumcenter and orthocenter both lie on the y-axis. Origin is also on the y-axis. So circumcenter and orthocenter both lie on the y-axis. And you know a result in any triangle, the circumcenter, the orthocenter, and the centroid are always collinear. They lie on the same line. So here the orthocenter and the circumcenter lie on the y-axis. So hence centroid also lies on the y-axis. Hence centroid also lies on the y-axis. Just a minute. The centroid of the triangle also lies on the y-axis, right? And centroid lies on the y-axis means x1 plus x2 plus x3 will be 0. x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 is the x coordinate of the centroid. Since the centroid lies on the y-axis, so x coordinate of the centroid should be 0. Means x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3 is 0. So you can say that r cos alpha plus r cos beta plus r cos gamma is 0. Or you can say that cos alpha plus cos beta plus cos gamma is 0. X coordinate of the centroid is 0. X coordinate of the centroid is x1 plus x2 plus x3 by 3. Means r cos alpha plus r cos beta plus r cos gamma by 3. It is 0. So this gives you cos alpha plus cos beta plus cos gamma 0. Now I have to find this value. Cos 3 alpha plus cos 3 beta plus cos 3 gamma over cos alpha cos beta cos gamma whole square. So see, I can write cos 3 alpha as 4 cos cube alpha minus 3 cos alpha. Similarly, I can write cos 3 beta as 4 cos cube beta minus 3 cos beta. I can write cos 3 gamma as 4 cos cube gamma minus 3 cos gamma. And this whole thing is divided by cos alpha cos beta cos gamma whole square. So now you can see that it is 4 times in the numerator cos cube alpha plus cos cube beta plus cos cube gamma minus 3 times cos alpha plus cos beta plus cos gamma. And cos alpha plus cos beta plus cos gamma is 0. So it is 3 times 0 divided by cos alpha cos beta cos gamma. Cos alpha cos beta cos gamma. And then we have whole cube here. Now it is what? 4 times. Now you know that if a plus b plus c is 0, then a cube plus b cube plus c cube is same as 3abc. If a plus b plus c is 0, then a cube plus b cube plus c cube is same as 3abc. So just read cos alpha as a, cos beta as b, cos gamma as c. So in the numerator you have a cube plus b cube plus c cube, and then the denominator you have abc. And a cube plus b cube plus c cube can be written as 3abc. So I can write cos cube alpha plus cos cube beta plus cos cube gamma as 3 times cos alpha cos beta cos gamma. A cube plus b cube plus c cube is 3abc. And in the denominator 2, I have cos alpha cos beta cos gamma. Means problem is solved. This cos alpha cos beta cos gamma disappears. 12 square is 144. So 144 is the correct answer here, right? See this question. This is from a definite integration. You are given an integration in here, 1 to e x raised to 19 log mod x raised to n dx. This is in. Then you have to get, and one more relation is given, 20 times I10 alpha I9 plus beta I8. So what is alpha beta here? Alpha minus beta, exactly they are asking. So what I will do here, let's use integration by parts in in. Let's use integration by parts here. And integration by parts, I'm taking the first function as log x, second function as x raised to 19. The first function is log x raised to n. Let's leave it as it is. Second function is x raised to 19. Integration will be x raised to 20 over x 20. Limit is 1 to e here. Then 1 to e. Derivative of the first function is n times log x raised to n minus 1 into 1 by x. And integration of the second function is x raised to 20 over x raised to 20. And if you are thinking why we are not taking mod, so actually limit is 1 to e. So for positive number, mod x will be x only. So here x is obviously positive. You are taking the integration from 1 to e, x is positive. So mod x can be written as x only. Now let's substitute the limit. Here if you substitute the limit, upper limit, the log e will be 1. So I'm getting e raised to 20 by 20. And here I'm getting minus n by 20. 1 to e log x raised to n minus 1 into x raised to 19 dx. So now you can see that in is what? E raised to 20 by 20 minus n by 20 in minus 1. This integral is now in minus 1. So in is e raised to 20 by 20 minus n by 20 in minus 1, right? So I can say that I20, in fact, see, you can see that we have to relate I10, I9 and I8, right? So let's put n is equal to 10 first. If I put n is equal to 10, in fact, this can also be written as 20 in is e raised to 20 minus n times in minus 1. 20 in e raised to 20 minus n times n times in minus 1. And now you can see that 20 in plus n times in minus 1, it is e raised to 20. So now this value is not depending upon n. Whatever is the value of n, this left hand side is always e raised to 20. It is always e raised to 20. So now if I put n is equal to 10 first, so I will get 20 I10 plus 10 I9. It is e raised to 20. Then put n is equal to 9. So 20 I9 plus 9 I8. It is also e raised to 20. And since both are e raised to 20, so you can equate them. So when you equate them, you are getting 20 I10 plus 10 I9 is 20 I9 plus 9 I8. Finally, you are getting what? 20 I10 is 10 I9 plus 9 I8. Now, if you compare here, so they have given alpha I9 plus beta I10, beta I8. So that means alpha is 10, beta is 9. Alpha I9, beta I8, so alpha is 10, beta is 9. Means alpha minus beta is 1 here. Hence, your correct answer will be 1. They are asking alpha minus beta only, which is 1, right? Okay, see this question. This is from matrices and determinants. 3 linear equations are given to you, and they are saying that this system has no solution. It is given the system has no solution. Then what will be A and B here? So what I will do here, I will convert this system from 3 variable to 2 variable. Means let's eliminate one of the variable first. Let's eliminate x. So if I multiply this second equation by 2 and subtract, if I multiply this second equation by 2 and subtract from the first equation, so you are getting what? 2x cancel. 3y minus 4y is minus y. 3y minus 4y. Then 6z minus 2 alpha z. So you will get 6 minus 2 alpha z. And on the right side, you are getting 8 minus 10 minus 2. Right. Similarly, if I multiply this second equation by, 3 and then subtract the third equation from it. Second equation multiplied by 3, subtract the third equation. So now 3x disappears. 6y minus 5y is y. Then you are getting 3 alpha minus 9 times z. It is alpha or a, whatever it is. A actually, not alpha. Let me write a here. A here. So it was 6 minus 2a here. And here I'm getting what? 3a minus 9z. And on the right side, you are getting 3 into 5, 15 minus b. Right. Now, since this is a system in 2 variables, and since it has no solution, so then a1 over a2 is equal to b1 over b2, but not equal to c1 over c2. See, if you have a system in 2 variables, let's say a1x plus b1y is equal to c1, a2x plus b2y is equal to c2. And if this system is inconsistent, no solution, then a1 over a2 is equal to b1 over b2, but not equal to c1 over c2. Basically, these two lines should be parallel for no solution. So for no solution, what I will write? I will write a1 over a2, which is minus 1 over 1, B1 over B2. B1 over B2, take 2 common here. Let in fact take minus 2 common here. So you will get what? You will get A minus 3. And then you 3 take common here, to A minus 3 and not equal to C1 over C2. Right. Now you can see that key 15 minus B is not equal to 2 from first and last. 15 minus B is not equal to 2, so B is not equal to 13 for sure. And these two can be equal only when, see, if I cancel A minus 3 and A minus 3, if I cancel A minus 3 and A minus 3, then these two will not be equal, the first two. So if that means A minus 3 should not be cancelled. So what I will do, just cross multiply first two. So if you cross multiply first two, you are getting what? You are getting 3 times A minus 3 is equal to 2 times A minus 3. Just cross multiply. 3 times A minus 3, 2 times. And these two can be equal only when A is equal to 3. So hence A is 3 and B is not equal to 3. 13 in fact. A is 3, B is not equal to 13 means D option will be the correct option, the last option. Okay, see this question. This is from 3D. Two lines are given to you, L1 and L2. Then they are saying the foot of the perpendicular from 4, 3, 8 on this line L1 is 357. Right? Then you have to find the shortest distance between L1 and L2. The first, the foot of the perpendicular drawn from the point, let me call this point 438 as P. And the foot of the perpendicular, let me call this point as Q. The foot of the perpendicular from the point P to this line is Q. So if I find PQ vector here, PQ vector will be position vector of Q minus position vector of P, Q minus P. So it will be minus 1, 5 minus 3, 2, 7 minus 8, minus 1. 3 into minus 4, minus 1, 5 minus 3, 2, 7 minus 8. And obviously PQ is the perpendicular drawn from P to the given line L1. So this PQ is perpendicular to L1. Means the vector PQ is perpendicular to the direction vector of L1. And direction vector of L1 is Li plus 3j plus 4k. Direction vector of L1, let me take the direction vector of L1 as B1 vector. So this B1 vector is L3, 4. The denominator thing is the direction vector Li plus 3j plus 4k. And of course, PQ is perpendicular to B1. So you can say that this PQ dot B1, it should be 0. Take the dot product. So you are getting minus L plus 6 minus 4. So hence L is 2. L is 2. Now one more thing. This point Q lies on L1. Q lies on L1. So hence the coordinate of Q must satisfy L1. So I will get 3 minus A over L. L is 2. 5 minus 2 over 3. 5 minus 2 over 3 here. 5 minus 2 over 3, which is 1. Z is 7. 7 minus B over 4. So this gives you 3 minus A is equal to 2. And 7 minus B is equal to 4. This gives you A is equal to 1. B is equal to 3. So now I know A, B and L. Now we have to find the shortest distance between L1 and L2. The shortest distance between L1 and L2. So now I can say that L1 line is what? L1 line is x minus A, means x minus 1 over L. L is 2. Y minus 2 over 3. z minus 3 over 4. This is L1 line. A is 1 to x minus 1, L is 2 to x minus 1 by 2, y minus 2 by 3. B is 3 to z minus 3 by 4. And L2 line is what? L2 line is x minus 2 by 3, y minus 4 by 4, z minus 5 by 5. Now you have to find the shortest distance between these two lines. So point on L1, let's say A1 is a point on L1 and this point is 1, 2, 3. Point on L2, A2 is the point on the second line, which is 2, 4, 5. Direction vector of L1, B1, which is 2, 3, 4. Direction vector of L2, which is B2, is 3, 4, 5. So now if I find B1 cross B2 using determinant, so it is I, J, K. B1 is 2, 3, 4 and B2 is 3, 4, 5. So you are getting what? You are getting 15 minus 16 minus I. 15 minus 16. Then with J you are getting what? With J you are getting 10 minus 12, 2J. And with K you are getting what? 8 minus 9 minus K. So now use the shortest distance formula. Shortest distance is what? A1 minus A2 dot B1 cross B2 over mod B1 cross B2. And in case you are getting negative value, then absolute value of this. Now A1 minus A2 is what? A1 minus A2 is minus 1, minus 2, minus 2. This is A1 minus A2 vector. 1 minus 2, 2 minus 4, 3 minus 5. And you are taking its dot product with B1 cross B2. B1 cross B2 is minus 1, 2, and minus 1. And in the denominator, you are taking modulus of B1 cross B2, which is under root 1 plus 4 plus 1. Now let's take the dot product. Minus 1 into minus 1 plus 1, minus 2 into plus 2 minus 4, and then minus 2 into minus 1 plus 1, or plus 2 in fact, minus 2 into minus, divided by root 6. And absolute value of this one will be the shortest distance. The shortest distance is 1 by root 6. Means C option is the correct option here, right? Okay, let's see this question. This is from vectors. Two vectors given, A and B. C is a third vector which satisfies these conditions. Some conditions are given: A plus B plus C cross C 0, A dot C minus 17, B dot C minus 20. So what will be C cross lambda I plus J plus K whole square? A slightly lengthy question, means you have to do a lot of calculation here. So first see this condition: A plus B plus C cross C 0. So if I take cross product here, so I can see that it is A plus B cross C 0. C cross C will be 0. C cross C becomes 0. So you can write this condition as A plus B cross C. And cross product of A plus B with C 0. So you can see that these two vectors are parallel. A plus B must be parallel to C. And since C and A plus B are parallel, so I can take the vector C as, let's say alpha times A plus B. Alpha is any constant. Since C is parallel to A plus B, so C can be written as alpha times A plus B. Now what is C now? It is alpha times A plus B. Now let's take A plus B. So A plus B will be what? Lambda plus 3, 0, and 1. Lambda plus 3i, 1 minus 1, 0, and minus 1 plus 2. Okay. So this is vector C, alpha times lambda plus 3i plus 0j plus k. Now use these conditions. A dot C is minus 17 and B dot C is minus 20. A dot C minus 17, B dot C minus 20. So now let's take A dot C. It is minus 17. So I'm taking the dot product of A vector with the C vector. So I will get what? I will get alpha times lambda into lambda plus 3, which is lambda square plus 3 lambda, 1 into 0, and then minus 1. It is minus 17. Lambda into lambda plus 3, lambda square plus 3 lambda, 1 into 0, no need to write, minus 1 into 1. So from here I got alpha. Alpha will be what? Minus 17. Let's keep it as it is. I will just divide the two. So let's suppose it number 1. Now if I take B dot C, B dot C is minus 20. So this is what? Again alpha times 3 into lambda plus 3. 3 into lambda plus 3 will be what? I'm taking B dot product of B with the C vector. C vector is this. Let me check A dot C once again. Lambda into lambda plus 3, which is lambda square plus 3 lambda. Here's 1 into 0 minus 1. Now I'm taking B dot C. So I will get alpha times 3 into lambda plus 3, means 3 lambda plus 9. Minus 1 into 0. And then 2 into 1 plus 2. It is minus 20. Suppose it number 2. Now if you divide the first equation by the second equation here, so alpha will disappear. You will get lambda square plus 3 lambda minus 1 over 3 lambda plus 11. It is 17 by 20. Just divide the first equation by second equation. So now you are getting 20 lambda square plus 60 lambda minus 20, 51 lambda plus 187. Right. Now just solve this equation. Just solve this. It is a quadratic equation. So just solve this equation. It will give you two values of lambda. But they have given that lambda is an integer. So you will consider only integral value of lambda. So when you solve this equation, ultimately you will get two values of lambda. One integral, one non-integral. So integral value of lambda, you will get 3. Integral value of lambda, you will get 3 by solving this equation. In fact, equation you can easily solve. It's a quadratic equation. So I'm not wasting my time here. So when you solve this equation, what you are getting lambda is equal to 3. So lambda will be 3 here, right? And as soon as you got lambda, you can easily get alpha. So just put the value of lambda in any one of the two equations. Just put the value of lambda in any one of the two equations. So you will get alpha also. Alpha is minus 1. Alpha is minus 1. So if I put the value of lambda in any one of the two equations, either in 1 or in 2, so I'm getting alpha as minus 1. So lambda is 3, alpha is minus 1, right? Lambda is 3, alpha is minus 1, as you can see here. And as soon as you got lambda and alpha, you got your vector C. You got your vector C. So what will be vector C now? Vector C will be alpha times, which is minus lambda plus 3, 4i plus 0j and plus k. This is the vector C. Now you are taking the cross product of C with lambda I plus j plus k. What you are taking? You are taking the cross product of C with lambda I plus j plus k. So it is what? It is I, j, k. C vector is what? Minus 4, 0, minus 1. And lambda I plus j plus k, lambda is what? Lambda is 3. So it is 3, 1, 1. 3, 1, 1. Now just expand it. So you are getting 0 plus 1 means I. 0 plus 1. Then with j you are getting what? Minus 4 plus 3. Minus 4 plus 3. So you are getting plus j. And with k you are getting what? Minus 4k. Now what will be its mod value? if I take mod of C cross lambda I plus J plus K and taking the square of the mod, so I will get 1 plus 1 plus 16. Means I have done some calculation error. Let me check. C vector is what? C vector is alpha. Alpha is minus 1. Lambda plus 3. Oh. Lambda plus 3 will be 3 plus 3, 6 actually here. This vector is 6. Lambda plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 0 I j. So here also you will get, let me erase these things. If you put lambda 3, so C will be minus times 6i plus 0j plus k. So actually it is 6 here. In fact, minus 6 here. Minus 6i, minus 6i, minus 0j, minus k. So now what will be option? If I expand it, so I'm getting I, this one and this one, 0, minus 1 and plus 1. With j, I'm getting what? With j, I'm getting minus 6 plus 3, so 3j. And with k, I'm getting minus 6k. So now if I take the cross product, modulus of this vector, square of the modulus of this vector, so it is 1 plus 9 plus 36. So hence 46 is the correct answer, which is option C. See this question. P is the population at any point t, and the differential equation is given dp by dt is 0.5 p minus 450. The initial population is 850 at t is equal to 0, p is 850. So then you have to find the time at which this population becomes 0. So you can write this differential equation as dp is equal to 0.5 p, or you can write half p minus 450 dt. Now if I integrate it, the initial population is 850, final population is 0. And you have to find the time. So let's say time is n, 0 to n. N you have to find actually. So this will be p here, 850, 0. Here integrate. So p is actually, what I've done, what I'm doing, p will be taken in the denominator. So I can write this differential equation like this actually. It can be written as dp over, p is variable now, dp over 0.5 p minus 450 is dt. Now this population, let's integrate. This population is varying from 850 to 0. Time you have to find, let's say 0 to n. N you have to find. Right. Now what will be this integration? This integration will be log 0.5 p minus 450 over 0.5. (850) to 0. And here basically you are getting n. This is the time. So n is what? And of course you have to take mod also here. Log mod. So now this is what? 0.5 is half, so it is 2 times. When you substitute the upper limit, so you will get log mod 0 minus 450, the log 450 minus, when you substitute the lower limit, so half p means 850 by 2. 850 by 2 is 425. 425 minus 450, 425 minus 450, so it is 25. So you are getting what? You are getting 2 times log 450 by 25. So this is what? 2 log 18. Means option D is the correct option here. Okay, see this question. This is from ITF and GIF, both involve inverse trigonometric function and greatest integer function. They are asking the number of solutions of this equation in the interval -1 to 1. So see, I can write this equation. Let me rewrite it. It can be written as sine inverse integral part of x square plus half plus, no, it's not half, it's 1/3 actually. Sine inverse integral part of x square plus 1/3. And then the second one can be written as cos inverse integral part of x square plus 1/3 minus 1. Actually 1/3 minus 1 is -2/3. And integer you write inside the box or outside the box, it doesn't matter. This is x square. Now obviously this integral part of x square plus 1/3, it cannot be negative. So hence it has only two values. It can be 0 or 1. Sine inverse is not defined for a number greater than 1. So hence it will take only two values, 0 or 1. Negativity is not possible. So it will be either 0 or 1. So let's put each one by one. So if I take this integral part of x square plus 1/3 as 0, then what is your equation? Sine inverse 0 is 0. Cos inverse -1 is pi. It is x square. So then in this case, x square becomes pi. And if x square is pi, so then integral part of x square plus 1/3 cannot be 0. Pi is 3 point something. So then in that case, integral part of x square plus 1/3 will be 3, not 0. So hence this value is not possible because this value is not satisfying this condition. If I put x square is equal to pi, so this integral part of pi plus 1/3 is 3, not 0. So hence this value is not possible. Now if I take integral part of x square plus 1/3 as 1, then sine inverse 1 is pi/2. Cos inverse 0 is again pi/2 x square. So again you are getting x square is equal to pi. But same thing, pi doesn't satisfy this condition. If you put x square is equal to pi, the integral part of pi plus 1/3 will be 3, not 1. So this also doesn't satisfy the equation. Means actually there is no value of x satisfying this equation. Means number of solutions will be 0. Option B is the correct option here. See this question. This is based on complex numbers. S1, S2, S3 are 3 sets. The first set S1 contains all the complex numbers satisfying this inequality. And this inequality is basically what? This inequality is basically set of all the complex number lying on or inside a circle having center at 1, radius √2. Let me repeat. Set S1 contains all the complex numbers lying on or inside a circle whose center is 1. 1 means 1, 0, radius is √2. Set 3 is all the complex number whose imaginary part is less than or equal to 1. Means y is less than or equal to 1. Y is less than or equal to 1. Now let's decode this set S2. This set S2. So they are saying that the real part of 1 minus iota z should be greater than or equal to 1. So let's decode it. Real part of 1 minus iota z. Z is x plus iota y. It should be greater than or equal to 1. Real part of 1 minus iota z. Now what is real part here? So real part is x and minus iota square plus y. So x plus y should be greater than or equal to. So the second set contains all the complex numbers satisfying this inequality, x plus y greater than or equal to 1. So let's draw the figure now. Let's draw the figure now. S1, S2, S3. See, the set S1 is the set of all the complex numbers having center at 1, 0, and radius of the circle is root 2, means slightly greater than 1. So this circle will be what? Radius is root 2, center is 1, 0. So this circle will be something like this. So let's draw the circle having center at 1, 0, radius is root 2. So suppose this is the circle. This is the circle having center at 1, 0 here. This is the center, 1, 0, radius root 2 actually. Now they are saying that y is less than or equal to 1. Third set says y less than or equal to 1. So y is equal to 1. In fact, what is this point? What is this point? The mod of z minus 1 is less than or equal to root 2. Actually, this is the circle x minus 1 whole square plus y square is equal to center 1, 0, radius root 2. If I put y0 here, if I put x0 here, sorry. If I on the y-axis, obviously x will be 0. So if I put x0 here, the y will be 1. So this point is 0, 1 only. So y is equal to 1 is this line. This line is y is equal to. And x plus y is equal to 1 is this line. Cutting x-axis and y-axis both at 1. This line is x plus y is equal to 1. Now you are taking which region? S1 intersection S2 intersection S3. Means the point inside the circle below the line y is equal to 1, and on the upper side of this line x plus y is equal to 1. X plus y is greater than or equal to 1. So this is S1 intersection S2 intersection S3, this region. Y less than or equal to 1 inside the circle, and on the upper side of the line x plus y greater than or equal to 1. And obviously in this region there will be infinitely many complex numbers. So hence infinitely many solutions. Means option C is the correct option here. Okay, see this question. This is from statistics. Mean and standard deviation of 10 observations are given, 20 and 8. And later on it was observed that one observation which was recorded as 50 instead of 40. So what will be the correct variance? What will be the correct variance? So let's calculate first the incorrect data. For incorrect data, mean is what? Mean is 20. So mean will be sigma x by n. How many observations? 10 observations. And what is the mean? Mean is 20 here. So hence sigma x will be 200. Mean is sigma x over n, right? Sigma x we don't know. Number of observation is 10. Mean is given 20. Now what is variance? Variance will be sigma x square by n is 10, minus square of the mean. Square of the mean means minus 20 square. This will be variance. And variance is given here 64. Actually, 8 is the standard deviation. The variance will be 64. You are getting sigma x square 464 into 10. So 4640. 464 into 10. This is incorrect data. So now what will be the correct data? Correct data. So let's correct sigma x. So sum is 200. But one observation was recorded as 50. It is wrong. So let's eliminate it. And correct data is 40. So 50 eliminated, 40 added. So this is what 190. So what will be the correct mean? Correct mean is now 190 by 10, which is 90. So what will be the correct variance? Correct variance. Variance is Vx. So it is sigma. And what will be correct sigma x square? Let's find sigma x square also. Correct sigma x square. So sigma x square is 4640. But one data, which is 50, will be eliminated. So 2500 eliminated and 1600 added. 2500 eliminated, 1600 added. So this is 4640 minus 900. So it is 3640, 3740. So now what will be the correct variance? Correct variance is 3740 over 19, over 10 minus 19 square. So it is 374 and 19 square is what? 361. Hence 13 will be the correct answer. So correct variance will be 13. Okay, see this question. They are asking number of integral solutions satisfying this logarithmic inequality. And whenever you are solving a logarithmic inequality, you have to check the base also. The base is greater than 1 or less than 1. The two possibilities here, we don't know the base. The first possibility I am taking when base is greater than 1. Means I am taking x greater than 7 by 2 minus 1 is what? 5 by 2. So I am taking x greater than minus 5 by 2. So in this case, since base is greater than 1, so when you remove log, inequality will remain as it is. So x minus 7 over 2x minus 3 whole square, it is greater than or equal to 1. It can be written as x minus 7 whole square minus 2x minus 3 whole square greater than or equal to 0. X minus 7 whole square minus 2x minus 3 whole square, 2x minus 3 whole square greater than or equal to 0. This gives you x square minus 14x, or let's factorize using the formula a square minus b square. A square minus b square can be written as a minus b a plus b. So I can write it as x minus 7 plus 2x minus 3 and x minus 7 minus 2x plus 3 greater than or equal to 0. So this is 3x minus 10 minus x minus 7 plus 3 minus 4. Change the sign. So it is 3x minus 10 and x plus 4 less than or equal to 0. So this gives you x belongs to minus 4 to 10 by 3. But we have already written that Kx must be greater than minus 5 by 2. X must be greater than minus 5 by 2. So hence X is greater than minus 5 by 2 but less than or equal to 10 by 3. And we need only integral values of X. So what are the integral values of X here? Minus 5 by 2 is minus 2.5 and it is 3 point something. The integral values are minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2 and 3. 2, 2, 4 and 2, 6. I'm getting 6 values here itself. Now, second case. If I take x plus 7 by 2 between 0 and 1, means x is between minus 7 by 2 and minus and minus 5 by 2. Minus 7 by 2 and minus 5 by 2. Actually, minus 7 by 2 is minus 3.5, minus 5 by 2 is minus 2.5. So minus 3 point, only one integer is here, x is equal to 3. But you have to check whether 3 satisfies this inequality or not. 3 satisfies this inequality or not. So actually in this case, base is, if I put x is equal to minus 3 here. Okay, let me solve it. So now inequality will get reversed because base is less than 1. So I will get this same thing here, this same thing which you got here, but inequality will get reversed. So you will get 3x minus 10 into x plus 4 greater than or equal to 0. 3x minus 10 into x plus 4 greater than or equal to 0. And see, the only integer inside this region is x is equal to minus 3. X is equal to minus 3. And you can see that whether minus 3 satisfies this one or not. So if I put x is equal to minus 3 here, so minus 3 doesn't satisfy this because first bracket is negative, second bracket is positive. So it doesn't satisfy the inequality. So that means the only integers which satisfy this one are these 6 integers. So only these 6 integers satisfy the given inequality. Means 6 should be the correct answer here. Let's see this question. This is from GP. First term of a GP is A. Common ratio is R. All the terms of GP are positive integers. If the sum of the square of its first 3 terms are 33033, so then what will be the sum of these 3 terms? So you are taking the sum of squares of first 3 terms. The first term is A square. Second term is AR. So AR whole square. Third term is AR square whole square. It is 33033. Now A square can be taken common. So you are getting 1 plus R square plus R4. And this is the only condition given to you. So you have 2 variables, A and R, but you are getting only one equation. So obviously you cannot solve by usual approach. Something fishy is there, something tricky is there. And what is the trickiest part? You cannot solve in general way. They have given that A, all the terms are positive integers. So A is a positive integer here. And I'm getting A square here. So on the right side also, one perfect square should be a factor of this 33033. One perfect square should be a factor of 33033. So what I will do now, I will do the prime factorization of 33033. And if I do the prime factorization of 33033, let me check. So I will get 3 into 7 into 13 into 11 square. 3 into 7 into 13 into 11 square. So if I do the prime factorization here, so I'm getting 3 into 7 into 11 square into 13. This is what I'm getting. Just do the prime factorization of the right side. So you can see that on the right side, 11 square is the perfect square which will divide only this number. 11 square is the only perfect square which can divide this number. So hence A must be 11. A must be 11. So you got A. Now when you put A here as 11, so now the remaining equation is 1 plus R square plus R4 is equal to 13 into 7, 91, 91 into 3, 273. So I'm getting R raised to 4 plus R square minus 2720. R raised to 4 plus R square minus 2720. And now if you solve it by making factors or by using quadratic formula, so can we factorize it? See, 272 is what? 272 is, if 272 is 1 into 36, then 36 is what? 2 into 68. Then 68 is what? 4 into 17. So yeah, 16, 17. So it can be factorized as R square plus 17, R square minus 16. But R square is equal to minus 17 is not possible. So R square is equal to 16 here. R is 4 here. You will take the positive value of R because all terms are positive. So now what will be the sum of first three terms? Sum of first three terms is A plus AR plus AR square. A taken common. So 1 plus R square. A is what? A is 11. R is 4. So 1 plus 4 plus 16. So it is 11 into 21. 11 into 21 is what? 220, 210 and 231. Means C is the correct option here. See this question, this is from binomial. The ratio of the fifth term from the beginning to the fifth term from the end in this expansion is root 6 by 1. What is the third term from the beginning? What is the third term from the beginning? So let's write this expansion as x plus y raised to n. I'm taking x as fourth root of 2 and taking y as 1 by fourth root of 3. And what is the ratio? Fifth term from the beginning and fifth term from the end. So if I take fifth term from the beginning, so it will be NC4 x raised to n minus 4 y raised to 4. This is fifth term from the beginning, NC4 x raised to n minus 4 y raised to 4. And fifth term from the end, you will get the same thing, just interchange x and y. So it will be NC4 y raised to n minus 4 x raised to 4. Just interchange x and y. NC4 y raised to n minus 4 x raised to 4. And this is given root 6. NC4 cancel. So you are getting what? You are getting x over y raised to n minus 8 root 6. X over y raised to n. And now what is x over y? X over y is, if you divide x by y, so x over y is fourth root of 6. So fourth root of 6 raised to n minus 8 is a square root of 6, means 6 raised to half. So from here you are getting n minus 8 by 4 is equal to 2. So hence n will be 10. Now they are asking third term from the beginning. What they are asking? Third term. So third term will be what? NC2 x raised to n minus 2 y square. NC2 x is fourth root of 2. N is 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. Y is 1 by fourth root of 3 square. NC2 is 10 into 5 by 2. 10 into 9 by 2, sorry. 10 9 by 2 means 45. Fourth root of 2 raised to 8. So ultimately it is 2 raised to 1 by 4, so 2 raised to 2 4, and this is 1 by 3. I'm not getting answer. Let me check what mistake I'm doing. N is 10. 10 minus 8 is to fifth term from third term from the beginning. Third term will be what? NC2. Yes. X raised to n minus 2, y raised to 2. Absolutely correct. So 10C2, which is 10 into 9 by 2, 45. Correct. Fourth root of 2. 2 raised to 1 by 4 and 8 to just 2 raised to 2. 1 by fourth root of 3. Here is the mistake. It is fourth root of 2, no? 3. Fourth root of 3 here. So it is what? Square root of 3 here. So now it can be written as 15 into 4, 60, and 3 by root 3. So 60 root 3. Means C is the correct option here. Okay, let's see this question. This is from relations, and you can say permutations combination will be involved here. So R is a relation from on this set, means from this set to this set itself. R contains A comma B, and B must be product of two prime P and Q. P and Q are greater than or equal to 3. Prime numbers, but greater than or equal to 3. They may be same also. There is no restriction on A. Only restriction is on B. To see in how many ways I can choose A and B. So see, for obviously for A, there is no restriction on A. So A can be any one of these 60 numbers. So A can be selected in 60 ways. For A, you have 60 options. 1, 2, 3, up to 60. Now B is PQ, where P and Q are primes greater than or equal to 3. So in how many ways you can choose B? So see, if I take P as 3, if I take P as 3, let me write straight away B. Okay, if I take P as 3 starting from minimum, so then Q can be 3, prime number only, 5, and maximum product can be 60 only. So Q can be 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19. 3 into 19 is 57. So actually B in this case is 3 into 3, 9, then 15, then 21, then 33, then 39, then 51, then 57. Means how many values for B? How many values? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here you are getting 7 values for B. If I take P5, so then Q will be, see, if you have already taken 3, 5, so you will not take 5, 3, because 3, 5, 3 into 5 and 5 into 3, both will give you same B. So take the number Q greater than or equal to 5 in this case. So it will be 5, 7, 11. Only 3 values. 5, 7, 11. If I take P as 7, so Q will be 7. Then only one value, in fact. Yes, only one value. Next, if I take 11, it will become 77. So only one value here. If I take PS, next 11, so 11 into 11, 1, so no other value possible. No other values possible. So that means for B, you have How many options? For B, you have only 7 plus 3 plus 1, 10 ways. The total 60 ways for A, 10 ways for B. So how many pairs you can form? 600 pairs. The number of elements in this relation is 600. I'm missing something. Let me check. They are getting 660. So let me check if I'm missing something. So 7 plus 3 plus 1 is 11 actually. It is 11 here. 7 plus 3 plus 1. So it is actually 16 to 11. 16 to 11 here. So 660, yes. See this question based on quadratic Newton's formula. So x square minus 6x minus 2, 0. An is alpha raised to n minus beta raised to n. What will be a10 minus 2a8 minus 3a9. So if I write Newton's formula for this an, so an plus 2 minus 6 times an plus 1 minus 2an, it will be 0. And this is true for all n greater than or equal to. But I need 10, 8, 9. So put n is equal to 8 here. Put n is equal to 8. So you are getting a10 minus 6a9 minus 2a8. So hence a10 minus 2a8 is 6a9. If you divide by 3a9 here, so a10 minus 2a8 divided by 3a9, that will be 2. First option is the correct option here, right? See this question, this is from ellipse and hyperbola, both are involved here. A hyperbola passes through the foci of this ellipse, and the conjugate transverse and conjugate axis of the hyperbola coincide with major and minor axis of the ellipse. Means a standard hyperbola x square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to 1. And the product of their eccentricities is 1. Okay, so I have to write the equation of the hyperbola. So see, for the ellipse first, for the ellipse you can see that it is x square over a square plus y square over b square is equal to 1. So if I find the eccentricity of this ellipse first, so it is under root a square minus b square over a. So 3 by 5. So foci will be what? Foci will be plus minus a comma 0. So foci are plus minus 3 comma 0. And your hyperbola is passing through these 2 points, plus minus 3 comma 0. So obviously vertices of hyperbola are plus minus 3 comma 0. Vertices of hyperbola. So now for hyperbola, let's say hyperbola is x square over a square minus y square over b square is equal to. So since this hyperbola is passing through these 2 points, plus minus 3 comma 0, so a will be 3 only. Obviously vertices of the hyperbola are plus minus 3 comma 0. And if I find the eccentricity of the hyperbola, so that will be under root a square plus b square by a. And eccentricity of the hyperbola is reciprocal of the eccentricity of the ellipse. So it is 5 by 3. A square is 9 plus b square by 9. It is 25 by 9. So b square is 16. And hence your hyperbola is what? X square over a square, which is 9, minus y square over b square, which is 16, is equal to. Means first option is the correct option here. Okay, see this question. This is from probability. So they are saying that when a missile is fired from a ship, the probability that it is intercepted is 1 by 3. And the probability that the missile hits the target, if it is not intercepted, is 3 by 4. Now, if 3 missiles are fired independently from the ship, what is the probability that all 3 hit the target? All 3 hit the target. So what is the probability of hitting the target? Probability of hitting the target. So see, the missile hits the target only when it is not intercepted and then it hits the target. So probability that it will not be intercepted is 2 by 3. See, it will be intercepted, its probability is 1 by 3. Not intercepted, 2 by 3. And if it is not intercepted, then probability of hitting is 3 by 4. So hence half is the probability of hitting a target. When a missile is fired, half is the probability of hitting the target. Now they are saying that if 3 missiles are fired, what is the probability that all 3 hit? So all 3 hit means first one hit, probability is half, second one also hits, probability is half, third one also hits, probability is half. So 1 by 8. All 3 hit. So D is the correct answer here. See this question from PNC. Total number of positive integral solutions of xyz is equal to 24. Number of positive integral solutions of xyz is equal to 24. So xyz is what? 3 into 8. So it is 3 into 2 cube. 3 into 2 cube. Now let's suppose x is 3 raised to a1, 2 raised to b1. Y is 3 raised to a2, 2 raised to b2. Z is 3 raised to a3, 2 raised to b3. So if you put the values of x, y, z here, obviously x, y, z will also be of the same form, 3 raised to a, 2 raised to b form. So if I put x, y, z here in the given equation, so I will get 3 raised to a1 plus a2 plus a3 and 2 raised to b1 plus b2 plus b3. It is 3 raised to 1, 2 raised to 3. And now you are getting a1 plus a2 plus a3 is equal to 1. b1 plus b2 plus b3 is equal to 3. And all these a1, a2, a3, b1, b2, b3 are whole numbers, non-negative integers. And you know that when you have to distribute n objects among r beggars, so then number of solutions will be n plus r minus 1, c r minus 1. Number of solution will be n plus r minus 1, c r minus 1. Or you can say that if you have this type of equation, x1 plus x2 up to xr is equal to n. Here each xi, x1, x2, x3, xn, xr are whole numbers. So then number of solutions of this equation is n plus r minus 1, c r minus 1. Number of non-negative integral solution. So for this one, how many solutions we will get? N is 1, r is 3. N is 1, r is 3. So number of solution will be 1, n is 1, r is 3. So you will get 1 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1 here. And here n is 3, r is also 3. So 3 plus 3 minus 1, c3 minus 1. So here you are getting 3 c2 solutions. Here you are getting 5 c2 solutions. Here you are getting 3 solutions. Here you are getting 10 solutions. So hence the number of solutions will be, since both these equations should get satisfied. Both these equations should get satisfied. Hence the total number of solutions will be 3 into 10, which is 30. So 30 is the correct answer here. See this question. Px is a given quadratic x square plus x minus 5. Alpha is a root of px is equal to 1. Alpha is a root of px is equal to 1. Means p alpha is 1, you can say. P alpha is 1, you can say. So what will be limit x approaching to alpha? X minus alpha over log px. It is a constant or it will depend upon choice of alpha, which root I'm taking. See, px is equal to 1 is a quadratic, so it will give you two roots. So whether it will depend upon the root, choice of the root, or it will be a constant. So see, this limit is what? If I use LH rule here, I can use LH rule because it is 0 by 0 form. So it will be limit x approaching to alpha. LH rule means L'Hopital rule. So derivative of numerator is 1 and derivative of denominator is 1 by px into p dash x. Right? Now, when x approaches to alpha, obviously p alpha is 1 because alpha is a root of this equation. So p alpha will be 1. The limit you are getting, what? You are getting the limit as 1 by p dash alpha. And px is this. So p dash x will be what? 2x plus 1. So obviously it is depending upon the choice of the root. It will be in terms of alpha only. So which alpha you are taking, it will depend upon the, so obviously it depends on alpha. It depends on alpha. Means option A. Okay, see this question. This is from continuity, differentiability, and some integration also, definite integration. The concept of continuity, differentiability, and definite integration, all three will be used here. They are saying that this function is, in fact, you have to check the continuity and differentiability of the function at x is equal to 1 and at x is equal to 2. See, the second rule of the function is very obvious. For x less than or equal to 2, your function is 5x plus 1, which is polynomial. Polynomial function is always continuous and differentiable. Always continuous and differentiable. So no problem in the second rule. Only problem is in the first rule. So let's calculate this first rule first. 0 to x, 5 plus 1 minus t dt. So let's calculate this one. 0 to x, 5 plus mod 1 minus, see, you write mod 1 minus t or you write mod t minus 1, it doesn't matter. Both are same thing. And x is greater than 2 here. So what I'm doing, I'm breaking the interval at 1 because for t less than 1, t minus 1 is negative. For t greater than 1, t minus 1 is positive. So if I take 0 to 1 first, so this will be 5. In 0 to 1, t minus 1 is negative. So it is 5 minus t plus 1 dt. And in 1 to x, now t is greater than 1. So it is 5 plus t minus 1 dt. So it is what? It is 0 to 1, 6 minus t dt. So integration will be what? 6t minus t square by 2 in 0 to 1. 5 plus 1, 6. So 6t minus t square. And here 4 plus t. So 4t plus t square by 2. 1 to x. Let's substitute the limit. So here you are getting 6 minus half for the upper limit. For the lower limit, it is 0. Here you are getting 4x plus x square by 2 for the upper limit. And for the lower limit, you are getting minus 4 minus 1 by 2. So now I'm getting what? I'm getting 6 and for 2 minus 1. Minus half is minus 1. So it is 1 plus 4x plus x square by 2. 1 plus 4x plus x square by 2. 6 minus 4 is 2. Minus half minus 1. Half is minus 1. So now I can say that my function is this. My function is 1 plus 4x plus x square by 2 when x is greater than 2. And for x less than 2 or less than or equal to 2, function is 5x plus 1. Both rules are polynomial, always continuous and differentiable. So you have to check the continuity and differentiability at 2 only. And see, at 2, you can see that the left hand limit and right hand limit both are 11. So at 2, function is continuous. 5 into 2, 11. 1 plus 8. 1 plus 8, 9. 9 plus 2, 11. Obviously, it is continuous. Now let's check differentiability. If I differentiate it, so it is 4 plus x when x is greater than 2, and it is 5 when x is less than or equal to 2. And now you can see that at x is equal to 2, right hand derivative and left hand derivative are different. Left hand derivative is 5, but right hand derivative is 6. Function is not differentiable. So this function is continuous but not differentiable at x is equal to 2. Means option B is the correct option here, right? Okay, see this question. Question seems to be lengthy, but very easy question. Solution is much smaller than the question. So M and OP are 4 equations. For the 4 circles M and OP, following 4 equations are given. Circle M, circle N, circle O, circle P. And if their centers are joined, M and OP, if their centers are joined, which type of circle, which type of quadrilateral you will get. So let's take the center of this circle M. So obviously center of this circle is origin. Let me take it A. If I take the center of the second circle, let's say B, so it is 1, 0. If I take the center of the third circle C, so it is 1, 1. If I take the center of the fourth circle D, so it is 0, 1. And you can clearly see that if I take these 4 points, so A point is origin 0, 0. B point is 1, 0. D point is 0, 1 on the y-axis. And C point is 1, 1 here. So obviously, if I join these 4 points, I'm getting a square here. So these 4 points simply form a square. Very easy question. Form a square. Okay, see this question. They have given a matrix A, and the elements of the matrices will be given by this function. And fx is determinant of A. So what will be the sum of local maximum and minimum values of the function? First, let's find the matrix A. So let's write the matrix. So see, diagonal elements are obviously 1. 1 if I is equal to j. So diagonal elements are 1. So it is 1 here. When the difference of I and j is 1, element is x. So a12 is x. In other cases, it is 2x plus 1. So a13 is 2x plus 1. It is also x here. Diagonal element is 1. And this one is what? This one, see, it is a21, a23. So it is also x. a31 is 2x plus 1. a32 is x. a33 is 1. So this is the matrix A. Now if you find its determinant of A. So determinant of A is called fx here. Just expand this one. Just expand this one. This matrix is 1x, 2x plus 1. So no need to waste the time. Let's expand this determinant. So when you, in fact, it is x or minus x. I'm taking x. Oh, sorry. It was minus x. It was minus x now here. Minus x, minus x, minus x. A12 will be minus x. A21 will be minus x. One more minus x here. A32 will also be minus x. So if I expand this determinant, let me show you. So when you expand it, your function comes out to be 4x cube minus 4x square minus 4x. This is your function. Just expand the determinant. No need to waste your time in anything. Just expand. Now they are asking the sum of local maximum and minimum values. So it is also 4 times x cube minus x square minus x. Derivative will be what? 4 times 3x square minus 2x minus 1. It can be factorized very easily. One factor is x minus 1. Other factor is 3x plus 1. Right? If you put equal to 0, so you are getting 2 points, 1 and minus 1 by 3. At one of these 2 points, you will get the maximum. At the other point, you will get the minimum. They are asking the sum of local maximum and minimum. So basically, they are asking f of 1 and f of minus 1 by 3. and just find f of 1 and f of minus 1 by 3. From here, simplify, you will get your value. So your value after simplification is minus 88 by 27. Very easy question, in fact. Just some time consuming, but not very difficult. See this question. You are given a trigonometric equation here. X belongs to 0 to pi. N is the number of solutions and S is the sum of the solutions. So two things you have to find, number of solutions and the sum of the solutions. So let's see what is given. It is given 2 cos x. Then 4 times sine of a plus b, sine of a minus b is sine square a minus sine square b. So sine square a is sine square pi by 4, which is half, minus sine square x minus 1. And it is equal to 1. Sine of a plus b, sine of a minus b, sine square a minus sine square b. So now you are getting 2 cos x. 2 minus 1, 1. Minus 4 sine square x can be written as 1 minus cos square x. It is 1. So now it is 2 cos x, 4 cos square x minus 3. It is 1. So finally you are getting 4 cos cube x minus 3 cos x is equal to half. And 4 cos cube x minus 3 cos x is cos 3x. Cos 3x is half. X belongs to 0 to pi. So obviously 3x belongs to 0 to 3 pi. So how many solutions you are getting? Cos 3x is half. 3x can be pi by 3. 2 pi minus pi by 3, fourth quadrant means 11 pi by 3. Or 2 pi plus pi by 3. 2 pi plus pi by 3 is what? 13 pi by 3. So 13 pi by 3. So you are getting 3 solutions only. You are getting only 3 solutions. So n is 3. Now x is what? Pi by 9, 11 pi by 9, and 13 pi by 9. What is sum? S. So it is 25 pi by 13 and 11, 24 and 1, 25 pi by 9. 3 into 3, 9 now, yes. 13 and 11, 24, 21 and 25 pi by 9. But I don't have 25 pi by 9 anywhere. Am I doing some mistake? Cos 3x is half. So 3x will be pi by 3, 11 pi by 3, 13 pi by 3. Correct. Pi by 9, 11 pi by 9, 13 pi by 9. 13 and 11, 24. 24 and 1, 25. So I'm getting 25 pi by 9. But it is given 13 pi by 9, 5 pi by 3. But they're asking sum of all the solutions in the interval 0 to pi. Cos 3x is half. Yes. It is pi by 3. Then I will get fourth quadrant 2 pi minus pi by 3. Oh, my bad. 2 pi minus pi by 3 and 2 pi plus pi by 3. 2 pi minus pi. My bad. All these are wrong. Actually, one solution you will get pi by 3, then 2 pi minus pi by 3, which is 5 pi by 3. And 2 pi plus pi by 3, which is 7 pi by 3. So pi by 9, 5 pi by 9, and 7 pi by 9. These are the 3 solutions. So sum will be what? Sum will be 13 pi by 9. Means A is the correct option here. 3, 13 pi by 9, n is 3, and A is 13 pi by 9, right? Great. Okay, let's wrap up this video. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Take care. God bless you all.